Today's episode of the Nateland podcast is brought to you by Game Time, Fabric, ZocDoc, and Rocket Money. Hello, folks. Welcome to the Batesville podcast. I'm your host, Brian Bates.
Brian Bates in the house.
Here with Dusty Slay, Aaron Weber. Nate is still in Australia.
Yep. But he's coming back soon. This isn't long term. Right?
Yeah, Lauren Harper already back.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is how the Batesville podcast will always be, right?
In what way? No Nate?
Well, if it's Nateland, Nate's here. But if you're introducing it as the Batesville podcast,
that's true.
It will always be this way.
That's true.
I don't see Nate signing off to the Batesville podcast while he's here.
You don't think Nate comes on as a guest every now and then?
No.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe he does a guest appearance next week.
Maybe he will. I think he's at this point he's probably about to go down to New Zealand.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then he heads home.
That is awesome. I hope he gets into some homesteading while he's down there.
I hope he does too. I saw some photos. He's been to the zoo.
The Robert Irwin Zoo, right?
Yeah. Steve,
I don't know if that's what it's called.
Steve?
Well, Robert's his son. He's the star of the show now.
Oh.
You guys like a zoo? I'm not a big fan of a zoo.
Yeah, I like a zoo.
What don't you like about it?
I don't know. I feel like when I was younger, I liked it, right, when I was a kid. But now I always feel like all these animals are locked up.
Well,
they are.
You know what I mean, though? It just feels like, they're just wishing they were out on the range somewhere. Now they're locked up, and I'm just in here looking at them.
But a lot of them have never known a life not in a zoo.
That's sadder to me.
Why is it sad? They don't even know what they're missing.
Yeah, but I feel like there's a natural instinct. And they're like, I'm missing something out here.
I don't think they miss the Serengeti if they grew up in Little Rock. You know?
Well, maybe.
Well,
but
the Little Rock Zoo.
Like, I've owned mice before in the past. I had a little mice collection, and they spent
collection.
Yeah, mice breed.
You're like that guy from the Green Mile.
Yeah,
making them do tricks and stuff.
Well, yeah, a little bit. I mean, mice really get at it, though. You know what I mean? And they have kids, and I had so many mice. And they spend their whole lives trying to escape the cage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I let them go, I turned them loose in the woods.
Oh, that was nice.
Because I figured they all got aged.
They all died in 10 minutes.
Yeah. But at least for that last 10 minutes, they were like, I'm free.
At least I got to feel the sun one last time.
Yeah, yes.
Before a hawk ate them.
I've always felt that way about zoos too, but pro-zoo people say these animals usually are going to die so quickly out in the wild because they're fighting for food and against other just scavengers, and they have a life of luxury where they get every meal to them. They don't have to worry about being attacked.
Mm-hmm.
You mean the ones that were born in there, they're going to die? Or
No, I'm just saying if they were just out in the wild, they would have a much harder life than being in a zoo where they know where the meal's coming from. There's not something about to kill them.
And they're not going to die from being eaten by another animal. Like they inevitably would be in the wild.
But like you could make that argument for jail in a way too, right? You could.
I don't know if I want to, but like,
that's a good point.
But you could
You're
be
right.
like, well, you're in jail. Listen, you're in jail. You don't have a lot of room to run around, but we're going to give you all your meals. You're going to get some TV.
Yeah.
You'll get some companionship.
Uh-huh.
That's a good point.
But
people come by and look at you all day.
Yeah. We'll do jail tours. What if they had jail tours? I know they have jail tours of empty jails, but what if they had active jail tours?
Well, that wouldn't be nice.
I did a juvie tour. I don't know if it was a tour.
Did they yell at you?
The kids?
It's like scared straight?
No, I was an adult.
Oh, okay.
I was in college, and we did a class where we spent a week at juvie, hanging out with kids.
Oh, I think you told me about that.
I used to have a long bit about this, but
you're supposed to teach football or something to.
I was me and the football team.
Oh, okay.
I was only because I had failed a couple classes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I had to go to summer school.
I remember this.
And we played pickup basketball, and I got picked last in all of juvie. I got picked. I mean, there's a 7-year-old that got picked ahead of me. But yeah, I guess you can call that a tour.
I did I tried to do a Big Brother program one time, and I think I got rejected by the kid. Like, I think the kid was like, you know what, I'm good.
No, I'm more of a lone wolf anyway.
Yeah.
Thanks, but no
I
thanks.
Need a brother.
Yeah, we went to like a Chick-fil-A. I don't even know how they let me do it. I just took him to a Chick-fil-A. We hung out. And I was just trying to give advice, but I was probably hungover, probably smoked cigarettes on the way.
Where was
there.
this?
Charleston.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
but I feel like a good influence, but maybe he stopped it, or maybe other people are like, he keeps coming back smelling like cigarettes.
Yeah. If you're a Big Brother hungover or smelling cigarettes, the program probably stopped it.
Yeah.
That kid's probably going to do better on his own.
Well, I don't know, but maybe.
What kind of advice were you giving him?
I don't know. It's a long time ago, but just good old advice, I think.
Well, back to the zoo. I saw a 60 Minutes piece about there's some billionaire who's buying up zoos and closing them because he agrees with Dusty and thinks that they're inhumane. And he took a bunch of chimpanzees and put them back out in the wild, and they did not last no time.
Yeah, see, I don't agree with this guy. I'm just saying I'm not totally a zoo guy, but I don't agree with buying them up and then just turning them loose.
Gotta integrate them.
Yeah, you ever see the movie Sling Blade?
Yeah.
They let him go, and he didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
He's out. He's been in that place his whole life.
Very similar. Yeah.
You keep comparing them to jails and prisons. And stuff.
Well, that's what
Human
it feels
beings.
like. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the closest we got. We don't have like a human zoo. Now that would be something.
A human zoo. Well, yeah, you have like the freak show at the fair.
Yeah.
I guess that's as close as
Do they
we
still
got.
do that?
I don't think so.
Maybe.
Some of the people walking around here would be like, I'm weirder than these guys.
A circus.
You ever see a picture of like the world's fattest man from like
Yeah.
1920? You're
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah,
pretty
imagine
good.
if you were like a real heavy time traveler and you went to visit him and they were like, whoa, look at this dude.
We got a new champ here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he weighed like 370 or something. Where you're like, yeah, dude, I know 100 people that weigh more.
Yeah.
Go to any Walmart.
Yeah, I saw this story about were you going to show that?
This is that zoo in China.
Yeah.
Where everybody's alleging that it's not really a bear, that it's just a guy dressed in the bear suit. Have you seen this, Dusty?
No.
I want to get your thoughts, just your initial impressions on whether this is let's just sit through this terrible ad for another. It's not even working.
Well, there's
geez.
a man that apparently has changed himself into a border collie. Have you seen
I
that?
saw that.
No, I haven't seen that.
That looks. He was convincing the dogs.
Well, it was a suit. He didn't change. He
I
didn't go full time dog.
I think they changed him.
No, it's a suit that he had made.
Oh, okay.
You thought he had surgery?
I don't know what the guy's up to. Listen, there's a lot going on these days. I don't.
This is the bear that people were saying were fake across.
I mean, he gives a Dusty.
You get a good
wave.
shot of it right there. What do you think?
Look at the back there.
I think that's a bear suit for sure. They don't have the neck on good.
So you think they couldn't afford a real bear, so they just put a guy out there?
I think it was a punishment. They were like, "You got to be the bear today."
It is drooping there in
Look
the back
at
a
it.
little bit.
Now, here's the thing. Now, I thought that too, but there is a type of bear called a sun bear that's exactly what it looks like. I had never seen this type of bear before. Their neck looks all weird like that. They stand up straight like human beings. That's a real animal.
All right. Well, I
Yeah.
support it. I think it's
Okay.
real then.
Yeah.
But the way he's standing up, though,
It looks so fake. I saw it and I was like, oh, come on.
yeah, it does look like an old man the way he's standing up, and it's like his backside is just straight down.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Well, you want to get into where we've been, where we're going?
Yeah, let's do a little where we've been, where we're going. I went to Austin, Texas this weekend. Had a lot of fun. I did a theater called the Paramount Theater.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Hot show. My buddies Alec Parent and Drew Harrison with me. We had a hot show. Very good. And I
Here it
also,
is.
yeah,
That's sick.
Look at that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now it wasn't completely sold out, but some people left before we took that picture. So don't let it fool you.
Okay.
Yeah, I zoomed in on that upper deck.
It was not completely sold out, but I've not done a lot of comedy in Austin.
Mm-hmm.
So to sell as many tickets as I did in a theater,
Yeah,
it felt very
It
good.
was
It's
awesome.
a big
felt it.
theater.
The last time I was there was 2018. I did that with Burt Kreischer. So
Yeah.
Here's a picture from me and Brian's show that we did there.
I wish.
So in 5 years, I guess I'll be doing stadiums like Burt. I mean, that's the trajectory.
That's the
right?
yeah.
That's what happens.
You're gonna have a movie
Yeah,
and you're gonna take your shirt off.
yeah. And I also did a set at Joe Rogan's club, the Mothership.
The Comedy Mothership. Here's a picture of that.
Yeah, I did the little boy room.
Yeah. Well, the way you just said it sounds kind of weird, but
I know. They have the fat man room and the little boy room.
Which are the two bombs that were dropped in World War II.
Oh, is it?
Did you know that?
I
That's
had
what
no
they were
idea.
called.
Mm-hmm.
Fat
no
man
idea.
and little boy.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
And you know why he chose that beyond just the reason you gave?
No.
Because, he's big into UFOs, Joe Rogan is.
Oh, why Rogan chose? I thought you meant why.
I'm sorry. Yeah, why Joe Rogan.
Truman or whoever named that.
No, why
bomb.
Joe Rogan?
Why is that?
Because he's big into UFOs, and UFO sightings started to really take off after those 2 atomic bombs were dropped.
Oh, okay.
And the theory is that after that, they got their attention, and they're coming here to Earth to watch us to make sure we don't destroy ourselves.
Oh, well, that's kind of reassuring. That
I
they're
hate
here
that
to
theory.
keep an eye on
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
You don't like it at all?
No, like we always, we talked about this so many times, but we're always like painting aliens like they're just like these wise, powerful, intelligent beings. I think they're just rednecks out there lost, if they even exist at all. They're demons, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, it's funny they come from billions of miles away, but then they crash a lot to go that far.
Yeah, they have a lot of mechanical problems.
Yeah,
That landing's the tough part.
How was that club, Dustin?
it was great.
Yeah.
It was really good. Like if I lived in Austin, I'd be trying to do that club every day.
Well, I think they all are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All those comics there.
I mean, it was really great. I mean, it was sold out well before the day of the show. There was not a single comic listed on the website. It just sold out on its own.
Wow.
And it was great.
I mean, that's a city we didn't mention last week. If you got drafted to a city, Austin's got a lot of clubs.
Yeah.
Austin's great, but it was 103 to 105 the whole time I was there. Even at night, it was in the high 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Austin is a hot place.
Well, 6th Street's beautiful.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it is.
6th Street is bizarre because you're walking down the middle of it and you're like, this is chaotic, but it's not insane. And then you look every alleyway, you're like, oh, dude, I'm not walking down there.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And this time I got to experience a little of the outskirts of Austin. I went
Which you liked a lot better, I'm guessing.
Yeah. I went to Terry Black's barbecue.
Okay.
I went to a couple of Tex-Mex places. Had a brisket taco in the morning. And that's what I'm all about.
Mm.
I did pay.
Is that a famous barbecue place, Terry Black's Barbecue?
I think so.
Okay.
I did pay $36 for 3 strips of brisket and some coleslaw.
That doesn't surprise me.
But it was delicious.
Yeah, I'm sure it was good. Dude, I was at the airport this weekend and I was like, I just need something to eat. I grabbed a sandwich, one of those like prepackaged sandwiches from like, I don't even know what you call it, like a little shelf or refrigerated shelf.
Oh, yeah.
And I grabbed that and a water and I put it on the counter and the girl goes, that's $30.
Oh, my.
What?
And I go, can I see the breakdown of that? And the sandwich was like $22.
What?
Wow.
And the water was $7. So
What airport is this?
Burbank.
Okay.
Burbank Airport,
yeah.
California.
Yeah.
So I go, I think I'm good on this.
Yeah.
I think I'll just suck it up till I get to where
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
going.
just go have some water from the fountain.
That is $20. It wasn't even like a good, like a $20 sandwich from Terry Black, like a barbecue place.
Yeah.
I at least understand it.
Yeah.
It was, and I had 3 strips and I ate 2 of them and none of the coleslaw and I was stuffed.
Mhm.
I mean, it was great. I had at the Mexican restaurant, I had queso and had a little ground beef in it and guacamole.
Oh, yeah.
Mixed it up.
Big time.
By the time I was full on the queso
Yeah.
and then I ate the meal.
That's how they get you.
Yeah.
I fill up on chips and salsa every time I'm at a Mexican restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But we ordered a sweet tea, and the guy was like, we have unsweet tea. You sweeten it yourself, right? Real condescending. And first off, I'm like, this is Texas. I don't know why you're treating us like this. But even in the North, they always act like you're some hillbilly backwoods redneck because you want sweet tea, right?
Right.
But they have the sugar. So the only difference is you're putting it in there for me instead of me doing it.
Yeah, I'm just asking you to mix it up a little bit for me.
Just do a little something. Try to
Uh-huh.
earn it before you ask me the question of whether you want a tip or not. You know what I mean? It's like, come on.
I'm at a phase now. If that guy had said that to me in that tone of voice, I probably would just got up and left.
I know.
Were you tempted to? On some
Well, I
level?
was with such a big group of people that
Yeah.
this would be really awkward. And they were all there like for my show. So I feel like they would all be like, well, do we all need to leave or what? So, but it's like, yeah, this guy was pretty rude. Like he asked, Drew Harrison ordered like a chicken enchilada and somebody else had ordered steak. And the guy was like, how do you want it cooked? Chicken enchilada. He's like, I don't know, all the way. You know what I mean? I don't want raw chicken.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, so you don't want the steak then? He's like, I've never wanted the steak.
Relax a little bit.
The steak has never been on the table.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Tough. Well, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, it was great. We had a great time.
Well, I think you guys are going to win as far as, because I know you had an exciting weekend too. I was in Foley, Alabama.
All right.
Did
Big
a show
fan of the state.
Yeah, did a show at Snook Christian Academy, back to school event for the teachers in service there, and they were great, and we had a good time. You guys know Foley?
Is that a secret school? It's not like Snook. Sounds like a secret. Like we snuck in.
I think that's someone's name. This is the hat I'm wearing for their school, and I think it's a different Snook. And
Snuck.
Yeah.
Snook.
Yeah.
I know Foley because that's where Julio Jones played for Foley.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of,
And that's around the Mobile area where my dad's family's from.
Yeah. In fact, didn't they used to live in Fairhope?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. After I left, I visited a friend who lived in Fairhope.
Fairhope's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. And they just did a personality test at the school and they wanted me to take it. It's one of those, like, it's called Who Am I?
Okay, I can't wait to hear that.
And well, it's not gonna make a lot of sense because they're colors, but I'm a blue. If you're listening, I'm a blue. There's gold, orange, blue, and green. They kept talking about it.
What does it mean to be a blue?
Yeah, how do you know that you're that?
Well, I did this test, and I brought you guys a test if you ever want to take it.
Color me blue.
So
Just one though?
You're a mediator, a caretaker,
well,
optimistic.
there's a test if you ever want to take it, Dusty.
I mean,
Oh, okay.
jeez.
Oh yeah.
You're a true romantic, Brian?
I wish
Yeah.
you'd given this to me.
Always
before.
has a kind word. I mean, you've been disqualified already by like 4 of
Well,
these.
you know, off the podcast, Brian does always have a kind word, I think.
I didn't realize I was so brutal on the podcast.
No, here's what you need. You need understanding, support, empathy,
Yeah.
harmony, acceptance.
Yes.
Inspiration.
Yes. I wish Nate was here. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And you need to be authentic,
Yep.
understood, nurturing, and free to find meaning. This is very beautiful, dude.
Thank
How do you find out what the back of mine doesn't have the
Well, that's just once you're done. But
So you're either a blue or a gold. That's it.
I wish you'd given us this before
The world's divided into two types of people.
we could have all took the test.
I was going to, but some of us got here last minute, and I just decided to abandon.
serious.
Well, I mean, you came straight from the airport. I'm not blaming you.
Okay, all right.
I'm just like,
You
not
could
good.
have. If I didn't know there was paperwork to be done, I could have done it on the car right here.
What's OGBJ?
That's the colors.
It's a doctor for women.
So you could be orange, I'm guessing, or green, or blue, or gold.
yes, and mine was very, very tight.
Does Snook Academy make this up, or is this like a scientific thing?
I think it's a
I snuck
scientific
it
thing.
right in.
Have you guys ever done an Enneagram?
In any, I know that's where you're a number,
Yeah.
right? I've never taken the test, but I've heard people talk about it.
I did take it. I've also heard that it's demonic, and so I reject it.
That's one reason why I didn't even offer this to you, Dusty, because I didn't think you'd want to
Yeah.
do a personality test.
I did hear that though, and I do reject it.
Okay.
So it's too late. You took it.
Well, I
So
guess we'll move on. Then.
No. You get
Bobby Boucher's mom over here.
Yeah.
It's the devil. Anyway, I had a great time there. First time ever. You guys ever done this? Flown to a gig and flown back the same day?
I've done that once, and it's unbelievable, dude.
I don't think I ever have.
It's an amazing feeling. It's like it never even happened. You just
Yeah.
kinda pop in, pop out.
It is wild sometimes. Like I'm sitting around at the house after coming home from a gig, and I'm like, just a few hours ago, I was across the country.
Yeah, I always feel that
Yeah.
way too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in Denver this morning.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
Yeah. How far we've come.
I know. Yeah, that would have been a trip that you might not ever come back from.
You probably wouldn't.
Like if you go to Hannah says people back in the day on the frontier, when someone would leave, they would stand out and wave to them until they completely disappeared.
Because they'd probably never see him again.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it might take a long time for them to pass over whatever they pass over.
Horizon.
Into the darkness. Well, maybe. Out of the
You don't believe in a horizon?
Out of the frame of vision. Well, come on. What's the horizon? I mean.
Well, just, okay. I'm trying to think what a horizon.
Well, I think that, you just at some point,
so
your
you
eyes,
can't see them anymore.
Yeah, your
That's
eyes
what
just
it is.
can't
because
see
horizon
things.
means going over.
Right. The idea of the horizon is that we pass over.
We're talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not get into the weeds here.
Yeah.
But modern day zoom lenses have proven that, when somebody is out of your vision, you're like, I can't see them anymore. You can zoom in and they come right back. They're still there walking or driving, however they're going about it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Boating.
Yeah. And if you zoom out far, you can see the Burj Khalifa from here.
I don't know what that is, but
It's the tallest building in the world.
okay.
Yeah.
Where were you, Aaron?
I was in Los Angeles for a few days where I got to do a pretty cool moment. I got to do a spot at the Comedy Store.
Look at that.
All
The
right.
legendary Comedy Store. When you are a comedian, you start. This is a place everybody talks about. Fans of comedy talk about it. I hung out there like 3 nights in a row. First time I got there, the photographer was like, "It's your first time here?" He's like, "Let's take some pictures." He did like a photo shoot of me in the club. So it's
That's
pretty
nice.
exciting.
I did it one time and they didn't take any photos of me.
Well, you gotta,
Yeah. Did you do the main room?
Did you talk to the guy about lenses for a while?
Maybe.
That's probably why.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, I'm good. I did a spot in the belly room,
Okay.
which was awesome, too.
Yeah.
It's the smallest room of the 3, but it was sold out, packed. It's one of those shows where like everybody before me was like murdering so hard that part of you is like, I'm not supposed to be on this show, but it went great.
That's how I felt at Joe Rogan's club. I always feel like the cool clubs, like LA, New York, Chicago. I'm like, I feel like I'm like a road comic all of a sudden when I'm up in there.
100%. I felt that way all weekend. I felt like I was an outsider.
Yeah.
And I'm like not really a part of the club.
Yeah.
Everybody was nice and welcoming. So it's all in my head.
Yeah, I never have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I did the main room at this Comedy Store one time, and I was first. There was no host. I was first on the lineup. I came out. There's a little step. I tripped, and I'm like, I'm open. I already feel like an outsider, and then I trip, and I pulled it together though. It was a hot 5 minutes, but it did not start well.
It was a lot of fun for me. And then yesterday, I headlined the Comedy Works in Denver for the first time.
All right.
A lot of folks came out. Very exciting to see everybody. That club is like perfect, dude.
Yeah. Yes,
it's
it
like
is.
have you done the Comedy Works?
I have not.
I'd never done that downtown room. You walk out there, they're like they're almost on stage. It feels like they're so close to you.
Yeah.
And they're just packed in. And it was just like, I mean, it felt so good. I don't know if it felt good to the audience, if it was just a me thing.
Yeah.
I'm hesitant to say. I was like, it was unbelievable. The show felt that good.
Yeah, it's so good. I just did it this year. It's so good. Like the first show I did a weekend. The first show I was like, it felt like they were almost like laughing at me, where it was like some joke was happening, where they were laughing at everything I
know
said.
exactly. I mean, I checked my zipper like 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, these jokes are normally not this funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. The jokes that are funny are getting laughs, but parts that usually don't get a big laugh is like getting a real laugh. And I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Just a great crowd.
Yeah.
Great club. So it was a really fun weekend. I'm happy to be back with you 2 guys, man.
Well, I'm pumped to be here.
You met Jesse Daniel, right?
I did, well, I've met him before, but he
Okay.
did come to my show in Austin.
Yeah.
Big fan of Jesse Daniel.
Yeah.
Here you 2 are right here.
Yeah.
Having a good time at the
Oh,
Paramount Theater.
Yeah, it's great. He lives in Austin or just outside, and he's great.
How do you say theater?
Theater.
You say it that way too?
I think so. Theater.
Okay.
Theater. I may say.
Oh,
I get in my
theater.
head about it. It's a word I think about as I'm saying it.
Maybe I say theater sometimes too, though.
Yeah. I used to say theater.
Okay, that
I put like through an R in there.
Yeah.
And I said that for years, and then I got called out on it pretty heavily.
Yeah.
And so now I try to overcompensate. Theater.
That's what happens to accents. Once you become aware of what you're saying and other people around you aren't saying it, like y'all is like that for me. I used to say y'all all the time. And then I just kind of became aware that I was saying it. And I don't think I say it at all now.
Yeah.
And I don't hate y'all.
Right. You can hardly tell you're Southern.
But I just, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like Hannah would say and then she says pasta instead of pasta.
Oh, wow.
Pasta?
Pasta.
Whoa.
And now she's like really become aware that she's saying pasta, and I think we're gonna lose it. And I'm sad about it.
Honey, pasta.
Pasta.
Pasta. No, it's pasta.
I know, but if she's trying to change, she's going to now say pasta.
Okay.
But yeah, you're right. It would be pasta.
Pasta.
Rastafarian.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I would say Rastafarian.
Yeah, that's how you're supposed to say it.
Oh, she would say
I was
Rasta.
saying if you said
Theater.
Theater. I went down to Paramount Theater in Austin, Texas.
You ever see like old school Tennessee people will say wash instead of wash?
Yes.
Wash. You put an R, like you're gonna wash your clothes.
Gotta wash
my family does that.
Yeah, your family still does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
some of them do.
It is wild. Like I met someone in Charleston from Tennessee, and it was a girl, probably a year younger than me, and she was saying wash, and I'm from Alabama. I'm like,
I almost don't believe. I don't believe she did that. I believe she did, but I don't believe she did it without thinking about it.
Well,
I don't know anything about this girl. I barely was listening to you talking about it just now.
Was she from a small town?
Yeah, I think so.
I think she thought this will be an interesting thing to do if I say wash, and it worked because you're still talking about it.
I guess so. Yeah. And I met her like 15 years ago.
Yeah, she's still doing that.
Wash 20 years ago.
She goes, yeah, I just washed my car the other day. I don't believe she does that. Anyway,
well,
let's move on to these comments.
Think, what about your family? You think they're making it up? You think Brian's family's making it up?
No.
They started it.
I don't. But I'm guessing how old is this girl you were talking to?
I don't know. Let's say 40.
Okay.
So, at the time, 20.
Okay. I don't believe any 20-year-old is unironically saying wash. I mean, I have to believe that.
I just don't think it's cool enough to be like making that up.
I think it is. Okay. Let's move on to these comments. Huh?
But before we do, I was trying to segue from Jesse Daniel into game time.
Oh, well, since we are
what does that have to do with Jesse?
He's a music. Oh, okay. Oh,
buying tickets.
Sells concert tickets. Yeah.
I was looking for something there. So
okay, that was pretty good.
And then we washed that right away.
I sure did.
I'm sorry, everybody.
Since we are so busy,
I'm just getting rolling here. The second half of this podcast is going to be unbelievable. Just give me a minute to let the day come on in, as Dusty says.
Yeah, do I say that?
Yeah.
Let the day come on in?
Uh-huh.
That sounds like something I would say one time. Since we are so busy, the only way we buy tickets is last minute, and Game Time has great prices on last minute tickets and flash deals. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, and a theater near you. We like the Game Time app because they make it so easy to see the seat views right there on the app. It is very quick and simple to use. They are the only ticket sales app that I know of that offers lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection, and job loss protection. Game Time is the place for last-minute ticket deals. Forget planning months in advance. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. Get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. The Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a deal. Snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code NATE for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code NATE for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
All right.
Boom.
Very exciting.
All right. Yeah, let's do some comments.
That feels good. All right, let's get into the comments. Matt K.
Where do these comments come from?
Oh, these comments come from Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Apple Podcast Reviews, and Nateland at natebargatze.com.
Or DM Brian Bates.
Which many people do.
I know.
Most do, actually.
Matt K. I've never related to an episode more than this one.
You can't read all these like it's an ad read that I won't be able to handle it. You can't do that, dude.
Okay.
Just read.
It's hard to do
I know.
an ad read and then into the comments.
Just read it conversationally.
Listen, I've never I've never related to an episode more than this one. I was a beverage vendor for 7 years, and I'm a paint vendor for Home Depot for the last 6 years, and I feel like I could sit down and talk for days with Dusty and Greg. We share way too many of the same opinions and situations.
That was worse.
I don't know if that's better yet.
It's worse.
That was fun, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, except for Matt, who was saying some nice things.
Yeah, and I didn't process a word of what the
All
comment
right, let's
actually
get
said.
with it. I've never related to an episode more than this one. I was a beverage vendor for 7 years, and I'm a paint vendor for Home Depot for the last 6 years, and I
okay.
feel like I could sit down and talk for days with Dusty and Greg. We share way too many of the same opinions and situations.
All right.
Well, I used to talk to the paint people all the time in the Home Depot. I love the paint vendors, Valspar, and that's all I can remember, but
Sherman
Williams.
Yeah.
I love the paint people. The
And
paint people always seemed fancier than me.
Are they a different type of people than the pesticide people?
Yeah, I mean, we're dirtier. You know what I mean? We're out there stacking fertilizer.
You're getting real
pallets.
work done. They're
Mhm.
making cosmetic changes.
Yeah,
You're
they're-
trying to keep people
Well, that's true.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
coming in with paint strips to be like,
Oh.
look at the new colors that we have.
embarrassing.
Yeah. And they got a lot of them have company cars.
Mhm.
Very nice.
And you say the Home Depot. It is the Home Depot, isn't it? Most people just say it's Home Depot.
Well,
but
there is a bit of a Mandela effect out there on that. Some people say it used to be Home Depot and now it's the Home Depot.
It's the Lowe's, though, right?
I think it's just low.
It's like Eagles, the band, the Eagles,
Yeah.
which is
They're
my
just
favorite
Eagles.
point to make. I make it all the time, and nobody's happy when I say it, but
It's just Eagles.
it's just Eagles.
Yeah.
But it's hard to use that. What's your favorite? I'm gonna go see Eagles later.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It seems like they made a mistake and they're like just trying to cover it now. No, we're just Eagles. I'm going to see Eagles concert.
yeah, it sounds crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right. Jasmine Lozano.
ooh,
I was not looking forward to comment reads with Nate missing, but Aaron didn't disappoint.
oh, thank you.
Love seeing Dusty and Greg on their first date. It was adorable and entertaining.
all right.
You did do a good job, and I'm sorry, Jasmine, that I'm reading them this week.
You're doing a great job now.
Hey,
You've
you're killing
gotten
it.
it down.
We've got a lot more to go.
That was a
but,
tough one to be number 2, though. Parker Jones, can we have Nate walk Aaron through how to properly dismount an episode? That Aaron Land ending was rough.
Okay. Well, how do we normally end up? We love you all. None of this is lost on us.
There you go.
We love you all. And all right.
Yep.
Let's see
that's
how
it.
Brian does it this week.
Yeah, Brian, you're
am I dismounting?
You're dismounting this time
All right.
because you're running the ship.
Be practicing.
Benny
I'll
Esquivel.
be practicing over here on the side.
Benny Esquivel. What do you think it is? Esquivel.
There you go.
Esquivel.
Something like that.
Greg and Dusty may repeat jokes, but at least they add value other than being the butt of the joke.
Oh,
That'd be a harsh comment if I didn't know Brian was the one putting these together.
I
I
know,
know.
yeah.
Well, that's 90% of this podcast, so that's a pretty big part, Benny.
I guess you do still have to read it, don't you?
Yeah. Either way, I'm going to see it. So
I mean, some people don't even read comments, but you have to read them and put them together.
yeah, Aaron encouraged me one time. Just don't even read them.
I told you we're scaling to the point where we need to stop looking at stuff.
Yeah.
I had to stop looking at stuff because look, the listeners of this podcast, for all things considered, are very nice and friendly, and they get what we're doing. But it's like being a comic on stage. You see one person with their arms crossed,
Mm-hmm.
and you focus on that. And
On my own personal podcast, the We're Having a Good Time podcast, I did a 20-minute rant on the Nateland Facebook group about the people calling me out for not eating bacon. and then edited it out and never published it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, just go ahead and tell us now.
You don't want
No.
the heat, dude.
Well, I went through a lot of the comments, comment by comment, kind of answering their questions.
Yeah.
Because some people, I don't know, I can't get into it. But yeah.
It's all love.
It is
You
all
know,
love.
it's all love.
It is all
Well,
love.
I'd say
The fact that anybody cares whether you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
But they want me to do it. They're like, you better do it, though. Eat that bacon.
I'll get them too. Don't worry, guys.
I'd say to Benny, besides researching the topic, just coming up with the topic, researching the topic, doing all the work, all the comments, all the emails. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've not done any of these things. This is all new to me.
Someone replied, truer words have never been spoken.
Oh, wow.
To that comment?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Was that me? Maybe my burner account. All right, Aaron Brawner.
All right.
If a significant portion of your total compensation isn't in the form of bonuses or commissions, you are not a salesman. You simply work in sales. Real technicality there. Most of these products are established brands that the customer contractually has to carry in their stores. Well, yeah, that's true. You're not necessarily selling it to the store. You're trying to get the customer to buy your product over the other product. And there is, there's not, there is bonuses. We did get bonuses, but not commissions. I'm not out here. I mean, I don't know the difference in working in sales and being a salesman. I didn't go door to door being like, you got a lot of weeds out here. But
that's a big generational difference where 50 years ago, if you ask people what they do for a living, almost everyone would just say, I'm a blank.
Oh, yeah.
And now it's I'm in or I'm involved with. It's like,
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
My official title was seasonal merchandising coordinator. And then they restructured the company and I became known as a district manager.
There you go.
But the pay was still the same.
Yeah.
So
Different
if you're a
name tag.
comedian or I'm in comedy.
Yeah. You're to go about I'm a comedian. Now it's
Yeah.
I'm in comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, but the sales part is like you're trying to get the customer to buy it, but you're also trying to get the store to order more. So sure, the store already carries it, but I don't know if there's anybody going into a corporation going, hey, I've been making some of my own pesticides back at the house. Wondering if you could start stocking them here. You know what I mean? Come on, guy.
And I'm with Aaron on this.
Okay. What was Aaron's take?
Well, I'm with Aaron Brawner
Aaron's
on
the
this.
guy who commented.
Aaron, okay.
Yeah.
I forgot. Aaron Brawner.
Yeah.
Tyler Hodge, Balderdash Bates has never been more on point with his family's love of Crossville, Tennessee and Mariners Point. I'm from northeastern Pennsylvania, but I went to Crossville with my grandparents and brothers every summer as kids. It's truly paradise for pickleball, putt-putt, and most notably, Nate's favorite sport, golf.
Well, they didn't have pickleball when I went. I think that's a relatively new sport.
Pickleball's been around 2 months.
They
But
were
I would
just
dominate if we did.
They were just inventing pickles back then. Sorry.
A paradise for pickles. Did you play a lot of putt-putt there growing up?
We did
bro?
play some putt-putt
Okay.
and some shuffleboard and all the other old people stuff that you would imagine.
Dominoes, bingo.
Well, I don't think anybody was really making fun of. Well, maybe we were making fun of Crossville a little bit. It was
Nah.
just funny that you live so close to Crossville and you have a what do we call it last week?
Timeshare.
Timeshare. Yeah, which I also did sell a little bit back in the day. Did you know that?
No, did
I
you
worked
mention
there for
that when we talked about
a week.
timeshare?
Maybe I did.
Mm.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay.
People sent me a clip of
Aaron doesn't, but Brian doesn't remember, so I don't.
people sent me a clip of Parks and Recreation where if you watch that show Jerry,
The old guy.
yeah, I mean I guess he's the oldest one in the group. To me, he's a young, strapping lad.
No, Jerry, he's like, that's his whole character is he's old, right?
Well, he's the loser, the butt of the jokes of
Okay,
everything.
he's the fat old guy.
That guy's for sure old.
But he
He looks like Newt Gingrich, dude. What are you talking about?
well,
You don't think this is the old guy of the group?
yeah. I mean, I'm a little bit older than you guys. I mean, I think an old guy like 80. That guy's not much older than I am. How old is he?
He is. I'm looking at this. Is the characters page? Jim O'Hare. Sorry, who I didn't mean to insult the actor. I apologize. 61.
He's 61 now, so that means on Parks and Rec he was my age.
Well,
he was probably in his late 40s when that
stuff
show
to
started.
tell
He
you.
was playing up in age. you know?
yeah.
They do that.
Well, anyway, on the show, he talked about having a timeshare in Muncie, Indiana, and that show's set in Indiana, so they all laughed. It was the exact same situation as mine.
Okay.
Yeah, see, this guy, Tyler Hodge, is from Pennsylvania, so he's traveling a bit to get to Crossville. They're
Yeah.
going down to Tennessee.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's visiting his grandparents.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we loved it, and we summered there, and back off.
Well, just the fact that you got to go somewhere for the summer, though, is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, we were not summering.
No, I was joking about summering.
Oh, okay.
We took one big vacation in my childhood.
What
Where'd
was
you
it?
go?
Went to Washington, D.C.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Why is-
Education.
why is
Let's see
that?
some museums.
Yeah.
The one big vacation, they're like, let's learn something.
Yeah. And how old were you?
Maybe 9 or 10.
Not
Yeah.
Disney World, not an amusement
No.
park. Washington, D.C.
We did go to Vision Land in Birmingham
Oh, yeah.
once. Pretty
Okay.
weak.
Yeah.
Pretty weak
I
park.
never even heard of it.
I haven't
You
either.
didn't know that was like our Six Flags.
Oh, okay.
Really?
We would go to
Birmingham,
Six
Vision
Flags.
Land, yeah.
You had a Six Flags type place, and you never even heard of it?
We would go to Six Flags in Georgia.
Okay.
Atlanta, I think, was a bit closer to us than Birmingham. About
Okay.
an hour and 45 to Atlanta,
Uh-huh.
2 hours to Birmingham.
Uh-huh.
So,
Hmm.
and Six Flags was awesome.
Opelika might be a good comedy city. You got either
It's a hot-
direction.
it's a hot
There's a
city.
club in Opelika or in Auburn.
There is a club in
There's a
Auburn.
club in our Crown
Yeah.
of Comedy.
Crown of Comedy, yeah.
Yeah.
It's an unfortunate location for Crown of Comedy. They bought a spot that used to be an old pool hall that I used to go to, and then later a plasma donation place moved
Mhm.
in next to them.
I mean, they share a wall with
Yeah, like
Yeah.
plasma donation makes every area look shady.
it. It sure does.
Yeah,
And then cat corner to that is a discount mattress,
yeah,
Lee County discount beds or
Yeah.
something right there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like it's unfortunate.
It's kind of wedged in between.
I mean, when it was a pool hall, it was a pretty hot place.
Yeah.
Pretty hot. It was sketchy, but it's pretty hopping.
And that club's still open?
As far as I know.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't been in a couple of years, but
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good time.
All right.
All right, Matthew Howard. I really enjoy that the four of you found out that Dusty had a relative who was a literal nobility in England and the High Sheriff of London, but you were more fascinated by what was going on with the people's ties and the picture of his grandfather. Best podcast ever. Keep up the good work. Yeah, I mean, I actually want to know more about my nobility in London. I'd like to go back to London and try to, see if I got some inheritance.
how
somewhere.
great would it be if you had royal blood in you?
Yeah,
A high sheriff, and you guys probably grew up not being fans of authority.
yeah. Well, that's true.
So something flipped there.
Yeah,
High Sheriff of Opelika.
yeah.
Much different.
I love it. Thank you, Matthew Howard. You
Yeah.
know what? My sister's last name was Howard, so maybe I'm related to this guy too. Lori Peacock.
Yeah, peacock.
Yeah, just got
That's a
extra
little-
E there.
Peacock, maybe?
Well, Peacoat.
Peacocky.
You ever remember those peacoats? You remember those?
Heard of them, I can't remember
You
what
can
they are.
remember them. They're still
A
around.
girl told me one time she had a peacoat, and her and her boyfriend broke up, and they were drinking. He got real mad, and he peed on her coat, and it was a peacoat.
Is that why you peed on it?
I don't know.
Did she wash it then? Is this the
She
same
never-
girl?
Not the same girl. Lori Peacock.
That's good.
Coke.
That's good.
Thank you.
You can't debate animal fights without knowing the St. Louis Zoo has to be in the top 5. They probably house the winners. Sorry. Halfway through this, I got real confused. You can't debate animal fights without knowing the St. Louis Zoo has to be in the top 5. They probably house the winners.
Well, I agree. I love it, one, because it was free. It is free.
Mhm.
But they have good animals there. It's not sad like the one you said you went to in Little Rock.
We just got Komodo dragons in Nashville.
Yeah.
You see that? That's
did.
big time.
Yeah.
You gotta go check them out. See what they're all about.
Yeah, I want to take my daughter to the zoo. I would like her to see it.
We've been once.
Yeah.
And she was just a little too young to and this is just a couple months ago, but to
Mhm.
really like notice anything, to be
Yeah.
right in front of her, be as close
Sure.
as you, and she's looking over here. But just in that couple months' time, she's changed, and now she's spotting deer, and I mean, we have a zoo at our house, so
Yeah, oh,
we
that's
have
right.
squirrels and
you got a lot going on.
beavers and everything. So
I want to take my daughter, when she's old enough to be able to take it in, but not too old to have sympathy. You know what I mean?
What's the sweet spot there?
I think she's in it. I got to
Okay.
get there quick. All right, Rebecca Ryan. This sales episode couldn't help but remind me of selling world's finest chocolate during my grade school years. Every year, the world's finest chocolate reps would come in and get a bunch of 9 to 12-year-olds all pumped up on selling chocolate, using the prize catalog as the incentive. I hated selling it and never did very well. I lived on the outskirts of what was already a rural town, so I had about 4 people on my sales list every year.
Mhm.
this is exactly me. Everything about it. We sold world's finest chocolate every year. I lived out in the country, very small school. She also said I couldn't put it all in there, but her other kids would take it to their parents' work and they would
Oh, yeah.
sell it and stuff, and
Yeah.
they
My
would
mom
just
did it every time for me.
dominate. But she said she never would do that. And I mean, I never. First of all, we're selling it for $1, a candy bar for $1 in 1982,
Mhm.
when candy bars like 20 cents or something.
Yeah,
But it's the
that's-
world's
I was
finest.
gonna say that's why they had to call it that.
The world's
Yeah.
finest. I remember one time we went to Charlie Daniels Days in Mount Juliet. He would have a date honor Charlie Daniels. We walked around. And I walked around trying to sell world's finest chocolate candy bar, and it didn't go well. But okay,
Well, you gotta use what you got, all the tools at hand if you're in sales. You know what I
Mhm,
mean? If your
mhm.
mom can run it up to work, we never sold this, but I would sell other things, and she would always just get everybody at work to buy it. I always did well.
It was magazine subscriptions
Yeah.
was big in our school.
I think we were doing fruit.
hmm
We would get like boxes of fruit. I remember us having
Okay.
boxes of grapefruit and oranges,
All right.
and we would do chocolate, I think, but I don't know if it was the world's finest. It was, pretty good.
we had to return what we didn't sell.
Oh, we
Oh.
never physically had it.
Oh, I was picturing walking around with a box like this.
We did.
No, we never physically had it. Like they would order it, and we would place the order for them, and then it would come to them, I believe.
We had the physical things, and I'd be like, "Would you like to buy a candy bar?"
I thought you had to buy it first, and then you have to, you buy the box.
Oh, so you're telling me that Rebecca Ryan
Mm-hmm.
was sitting in class,
Oh yeah.
and some poacher of a chocolate salesman comes in to these 9 and 12-year-olds and goes, "Buy all this chocolate for me,"
Oh, yeah.
and then you go sell it.
Yep.
I don't like
It's
that.
brilliant.
I don't like that.
It's respect.
It's great for that
You
salesman.
respect the hustle. dude.
Yeah,
Those are dirtbag tactics.
they are dirt.
you return what you don't sell, and so there's no buying ahead of time.
But kids
Okay.
are sitting around with all this chocolate in.
I know, it's
house.
very tempting.
So you're eating it up, and now your parents are like,
Well, that's true.
yeah." I don't like that. I'm with Rebecca here.
Yeah.
Zach, today was officially my last day at my current job. I
Alright.
hope you did a 2-week notice. I arrived a little early this morning and was just sitting in my car listening to the episode when Aaron told the etiquette story, and I lost it. The mental image of him trying to be polite and accept that brutal advice sent me into a total laughing fit. Unfortunately, this happened while most of my soon-to-be former coworkers were showing up to start their workday. Yeah, I mean, that was funny. I mean, it was hard to even contain it when Aaron was telling me while we were there.
Yeah.
Etiquette. The lady was very nice.
She was great, but that's the worst idea I've ever gotten in my life.
Let me hit you. She's selling world's finest chocolate here. Etiquette. Huh? Huh? Jake Jesse. Or Gessie. I bet Jesse. Jake Jesse. He didn't want to be called JJ. They were like, do it with a G, though.
They didn't change his last name.
Yeah, he wouldn't. Yeah.
All right. Am I crazy, or does bread toast always sound like he's about to transition to an ad every time he says something lately?
I mean, I can understand why you would say that. You're not crazy. But if you are, consider BetterHelp. It's one of the... No. I wish BetterHelp was a sponsor, but they're not. But I will tell you about Fabric by Gerber Life. It's an easy one-stop shop for all your family's financial needs, offering
we're actually doing one.
We're doing it.
Okay.
Offering high-quality term life insurance policies plus other financial solutions in one easy online hub. Fabric was designed by parents for parents to help you get a high-quality, surprisingly affordable term life insurance policy in less than 10 minutes. You could be offered coverage instantly with no health exam required. Protect your family today with Fabric by Gerber Life. Apply today in just 10 minutes at meetfabric.com/Nate. That's meetfabric.com/Nate. MEET fabric.com/Nate. Policies issued by Western Southern Life Assurance Company, not available in certain states, process subject to underwriting and health questions. So, Jake, no, I don't know what you're talking about.
Old Jake Jesse.
Oh, Jake Jesse.
Oh, JJ. All right, last comment, Gabe Allen. I dated a girl one time, and she told me that her stepdad was named Gabe, and whenever he would say it, he would always go, Gabe.
You got to hit that B.
Yeah, you got to hit the B.
Yeah.
Gabe Allen. The Earth isn't really spinning that fast because speed is relative. The fact that it is so big makes the 1,000 miles per hour so unnoticeable. For comparison, spin yourself at a rate of 1 degree every 4 minutes for 24 hours, and you will have spun once completely. The Earth is doing the exact same thing. All right.
It's a good example.
How do we... I wish that there was something else that was that big that spun 1,000 miles an hour that we can compare it to.
Yeah.
Because science is all about being able to recreate
Yeah.
and do actual experiments.
It'd be cool if there were 8 other planets and a bunch of moons we could look at.
Close enough that we could get to.
Right.
You know,
if we had devices that could see them from far away.
If we could. If we could.
That would be very nice.
That would be great.
But I don't really get the point of this comment.
No. Because if I spin slow like that to spin once every 24 hours, then I'm not spinning fast. So if the Earth, it's like the heat index, right? When they're like, it's this hot, but it feels hotter.
Yeah.
He's like, listen, it's spinning fast, but it doesn't feel that way because it's so big.
But he says it's not spinning fast.
But but science tells us it's spinning 1,000 miles per hour.
Yeah, that's our perception. He said it's relative. So it's 1,000 miles per hour is fast to us, but
it's not my perception.
It's to some people's perception, 1,000 miles per hour.
But 1,000 miles per hour is fast.
If you're not if you're as big as the Earth.
But how is that? That's what I'm saying, though. It's like fast is fast. You don't get it doesn't feel slower because you're big.
But I think you guys would agree, maybe.
I'm not,
you look at me.
No.
Does it?
You don't think an ant thinks I'm a pretty fast walker? But I bet you guys don't think I'm a fast walker.
Yeah, but you're walking whatever the speed is you're walking is still the speed you're walking.
Yeah, that's right. He says it's all relative to what you're talking about.
But it's not real. It's like the speed is the speed no matter what. So,
but whether you think it's fast or slow is your own opinion.
There you go. That's right.
Right, but the point is, like, we should be able to feel something going that fast. Like if you're walking 5 miles per hour to the ant is like, wow, 5 miles per hour, that's really fast. I can't go that fast.
Right.
So, so to that ant, but you're still going 5 miles per hour no matter what. It's not, you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Not really. I don't understand what's happening.
1,000 miles per hour is 1,000 miles per hour.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're not arguing that.
I'm back on.
I guess we're just debating whether.
I mean, it's not doing that, so it's easy. You know what I mean? It's just kind of hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
Not even hanging, really, just resting.
But let me ask you this, and I know I probably shouldn't even get off on this, but other planets in the solar system, you think they're out there? Or do some people think they're out there?
Some people do, yeah. Yeah.
Do some people think they're not?
Yeah, some people do think they're not.
Yeah, because you can see them through a telescope.
Well, have you pulled up images on the internet of people actually like zooming in on these planets and not the NASA images?
I saw. I took a cosmology class in college, and I saw the planets through.
Was it your own telescope?
I have a telescope, and I can see Saturn.
So when you zoom in on Saturn, it looks just like they show you.
It sure does, man. You can see the rings. I zoomed in on Jupiter, and you can see the red spot.
But you saw it from a school telescope, so who knows what's going on with that?
Mine's
Right.
not big and powerful enough to. I can see it,
Right.
but I can't zoom in on
What's
it.
it look like when you see it? Then?
I can see the ring. It's very small. It's very faint, but I can
Mhm.
see the ring, and I can see. I can't prove they're
I wish I had
moons.
known we would talk about this. I would have brought some videos. I mean, now again, these are somebody else's videos. I don't know, but I've seen
Right.
like zooming in on stars. I mean, it's wild. They're like changing all the time, and it's so wild. It doesn't look at all like the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
We're a lot closer to ours.
right? But I can't. I mean, but the sun's not doing this thing. I don't. It just doesn't like change everything about it because it's closer.
I think we got a different view of it.
Yeah,
You
we
know?
would. Yeah, I mean, but I wish I had known we were talking about this. I would have
Yeah.
brought these next time.
Me too.
But I think planets are. I keep
Off
going.
camera. I'm going to show it to you.
All right.
Yeah, we'll talk about it
Yeah.
when we stop rolling.
Yeah.
We'll really get into it.
Well, today we are talking about school.
All right.
It's back to school this week here.
Did that go well?
What?
Comments? You
School?
think that went well? The comments? We did a good
Yeah.
job.
I think it's still picking up. I don't think we've really hit our stride yet,
Okay.
but I think within the next 10 minutes, it'll be like, I'll look around and be like, this is actually going pretty good.
Okay.
But we're done with the comments.
Yes,
You're
we are.
asking about the comments specifically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they go well?
Yeah, I think
I don't read them a lot,
Oh, you just meant you're reading?
but just all together. The
Oh.
flow.
I thought you did a good job, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
But today we're talking about school.
Mhm.
It's back to school this week here in at least Nashville. And I think pretty much everywhere in the country, people go back to school in August. I think when I was in school, we would start after Labor Day. That was kind of
In
the,
September.
yeah, like
Right.
maybe
I think that's how it was for me too.
it could have been like the Tuesday, like literally the day after Labor Day. I don't remember, but Laura was telling us about how now they're here considered year-round schools. It's not that different, but they do start earlier because they have fall break and a spring break. We never had a fall break
We never had a fall break
growing
either.
up.
Well, there's a lot of data to suggest that a better model would be to eliminate summer vacation altogether
Mm.
and just have year-round school.
I think I'd prefer that.
And you just have and you'd have another like fall break, another like week break somewhere in there. But taking 2 months off, you don't retain a lot of what you learned. There's a lot of data that says all the kids will be better off. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I think there's so much useless stuff that goes on in school anyway. I just think about the stuff that
You think the lack of retention is good?
yeah, I mean, it's just
we
like,
do need to get a little.
Forget some of this.
Yeah.
well, it's like I think we should like be learning really practical things, like so that when we get out of school, we know how to do stuff. Like
Okay.
people don't know how to pay bills, they don't know how to balance checkbooks, they don't know how to do their taxes. They don't. I think we should be learning all this stuff. I think you should know how to cook basic food for yourself. I mean, and then we come out very productive humans
Mhm.
instead of being like we just come out ready to go to college. We're like, let's get in debt.
Now there are some classes in high school that do some of that.
Right, but
Home ec.
But
and-
they're electives that you can
They
take.
are,
I
I
think
think.
we should focus like it's like like calculus was a class that you could take and it's like it's like if you want to get into math later on, like get into it in college. You know
I
what
thought
mean?
you meant like once you retire,
No, it's
then
like,
take up a hobby.
yeah, it's like I don't need calculus in high school.
Mhm.
Like, let's go algebra. Let's do algebra 1.
But do you think the kid that wants to take calculus is also the kid that needs to take a class on how to button his shirt?
Button your shirt is I mean, that's a stretch. If he doesn't know how to button his shirt, then the answer is yes. But I think these are classes that people need to be taken where they
Okay.
learn. Like we took a sewing class. It was an elective. We took something, but I know how to
You
sew.
took sewing as an elective?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It was middle school, so it was a kind of a required thing.
Really?
Oh.
So I know how to sew with a needle and thread. I learned to use a sewing machine.
That's
I haven't
impressive.
done that in a long time, so I don't know if I could do it. But
That's pretty cool.
yeah, and I think
But
auto
can you do calculus?
not at. I don't even know what calculus is, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I barely. Well, let's go over like where we went. Like mine's pretty simple. I was 1st through 8th grade at the same school.
Mm-hmm.
It was the smallest school in the county.
1st through 8.
Yeah, I didn't go to kindergarten.
Okay.
1st through 8th grade at the same school, and then I went from the smallest school in the county to the biggest school in the county in high school, and so I was only at 2 schools before college.
When you got to the big school, like, because this happened to my mom too, was that a real adjustment?
Oh yeah, but it was great because I was with the same kids for 8 years, and there's just a few of us.
Yeah.
And then you get to high school, and you're a freshman. You see the senior girls, and you're like, they're women.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And they seem so mature and just put together. And yeah, it was a huge adjustment. It was so nice though to be around other kids that you hadn't been around all the time though.
Right.
And doing stuff. I was hot. I mean,
Whoa.
I mean, that's
a good look though. I'm going to be honest.
It is a good look.
Yeah.
You got kind of the Dusty Slay glasses.
Yeah.
That's why you think it's a good look. Okay.
I think it's a good look. I mean, you got a
head hair.
What is that? I mean, I like it. I'm into it.
Is that a Lacoste shirt?
It could be. It's a good call on that.
Yeah.
I was 3rd grade, maybe. I mean,
your hair looks good. You got a good head of hair, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I've had a haircut like that. I had a haircut like that most of my life.
Is that kind of an Alabama bangs?
I would say like an Alabama swoop.
The Bama swoop.
Bama swoop. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much, I mean.
Dang, that's a good
Public
look.
schools?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Was there ever talk? There were like Christian schools or private schools that you would have maybe gone to, or was it?
There is one in Lebanon that, I mean, it's still there, but I don't ever remember any talk about it. I just don't think we could afford it. And
yeah.
So, and I mean, you went to private Christian school. I see advantages and disadvantages. I mean, my daughter now, I'll be considering for her in a few years where to send her to school. And there's some advantages to public school, but.
What are the advantages?
I feel like you're around a more diverse group of people. I may be wrong because I wasn't in private school, but I feel like you're diverse
in what way?
Well, in race and economics and just different, just not everyone's maybe as similar as you. I may be wrong, but that's how I feel.
There's probably some truth to that. I think it depends a lot on the school.
Like I got stabbed in 8th grade.
There you go.
Did you get
that's
stabbed?
the kind of diversity.
I got punched in the bathroom, busted my eye.
And luckily, you could do your own stitches after you got stabbed.
Yeah, that's true.
Just taking a sewing class.
Yes, because I learned things.
I had to go to a nurse, and they had to do it.
My locker got broken into a lot. I lost a lot of money. You know what I mean? Yeah. So,
how many schools did you go to growing up?
Well, I was just talking about this the other day. It was weird for me because some schools were being built. In Opelika, I went to a school called Carver from kindergarten and 1st grade, and then the new school was being built. So I went to another school called Brown while that one was being finished, and then I was the first class at Southview Primary. So I did 2nd grade there, and then I did 3rd grade at a school called Martin, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, which would later be called Northside. And then I went to middle school, Opelika Middle School for 6th, 7th, 8th, and then high school, OHS, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th.
Man, that's a lot.
Yeah.
You jumped around a lot. You're like a military family.
That's what I was about to say.
All in the same town. So all these primary and elementary schools, we all came together in middle school. So it was similar to that.
So you had friends that made all these jumps with you.
Yes.
Okay.
So you had friends that you went from kindergarten all the way through high school.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, the girl who told me that her boyfriend peed on her pea coat, we were in kindergarten together, went all the way through school together.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's such a huge chunk of your life in the same room with another person.
Yeah. Now, she wasn't in every class with me, but we made the journey. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you were 5 when you started.
Yeah. Her last name was, her name was Lindsay Savage. So Savage and Slay, we were always like, when your last names are close, you're always like, kind of like in the same homeroom together, stuff like that. A lot of the S's.
Yeah.
You were taking an elective in junior high?
Yeah, I don't know if they were called electives, but they were like just, you'd have all your regular classes, and then you had.
It's elective in that, like, you decided whether you went to school that day or not.
That's true. That is true. That is true. Yeah. Like I did home ec, I did chorus, stuff like that. I did a little chorus thing. I just realized we were singing God Bless the USA by Lee Greenwood in middle school. Oh, no, maybe elementary school. And I looked at the dates, and that song was brand new at that time.
Wow.
So, because I was like, man, this song must be way older, but it was like brand new.
I thought it came out after 9/11.
Had a
Nah.
resurgence.
Had a bit of a resurgence.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, I remember hearing it all over after that.
Like I met Lee Greenwood a couple of times, and it's like you don't hear other Lee Greenwood songs.
you don't need another song.
Yeah,
You know? You've got the song.
yes.
But I remember when that song came out, and I knew who Lee Greenwood was because he had stuff out.
Right. He has a few albums, but it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, when you got that song,
Yeah.
Career changes.
yeah.
Now we're all 10 years. Well, you and I are 20 years apart, but we're
Mhm.
10 years different. So I graduated high school in 1990. Did you graduate in 2000?
2000,
In
yeah.
2010?
2010.
All right.
Yeah,
Gotta
how
figure
about
that.
that?
We're
I
the class of the new millennium here. Me,
Oh,
you know.
yeah. What does that mean?
Well, first graduating class of 2000, the year.
think it'd be
2000.
2001 would be.
Well, that was the argument that 2001 people all made. But we were the first class to not use 19, So
Uh-huh.
we were
Oh,
the first
yeah.
20.
Okay.
All the 2001 kids made that argument. Well, we were the first because you don't start with 0, you start with 1.
Yeah.
And I get it, but
Those are the nerds.
Yeah,
It's like, you
exactly.
know what we mean.
Exactly.
I think my first grade year, I think was 1978, 79.
That's a good year.
It was a good year.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, there was a lot happening back then, but so, look here.
And here we go. This is
yeah.
St. Bede gray basketball team.
Look how happy you are.
I'm pretty excited, man. I'm
Yeah.
excited to be playing hoops.
And a few poinsettias in your back.
Yeah,
there.
in front of a weird kind of mural of the Virgin Mary.
How many
Oh,
schools
yeah.
did you go to, Aaron?
I went to the same I went to Catholic school my entire life.
Yeah.
Kindergarten through college, which is pretty crazy. But I went to St. Bede K through 6, and then it was a feeder school for Montgomery Catholic middle school, and then that fed right into Catholic high school. And then I moved in the middle of high school to Nashville.
Was that hard?
It was pretty hard. I've been going like
Bound to have
you're
been.
talking about. I've been going to school with the same kids kindergarten through 10th grade.
Yeah.
And those are all the people in my life. And then we all moved.
Were you cool at the new school? Did you fit right in, or was it hard? Like obviously it was hard. We just asked you that question. You said yes,
Yeah.
it's hard. But I mean, in class.
In class, was I cool? I don't know if I could be cool in class. I wasn't a class clown. I wasn't doing
You
that.
didn't make a lot of jokes.
I think I was probably thinking funny stuff.
I made a lot
Yeah.
of jokes.
You made a lot of jokes?
Yeah, oh yeah. Did you make a lot of jokes?
Mm-mm. Well, I wasn't the class clown. I would say stuff under my breath to my friends to make them laugh.
Oh
But
yeah.
most comedians aren't the class clown.
I had no
That's
concept
true.
for getting an education. I was like, I'm just here because they're making me come.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean,
Did you ever have first day of school nerves or excitement or
yeah, every
jitterness?
time. I mean, yeah, it's always some nerves. Also, always like, I don't want to go back to school. I'm enjoying
Yeah.
the summer break.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
That's-
These are the St. Bede gold team. This is how I used to pose in every picture right here.
Is it
That's a
because
good-
football players would never smile?
That's a good look for you.
Thanks, dude. Just a frown.
Almost a little bit of a flat top going on here. You almost had like a military cut that you let grow out
That's
a
like
little
the
bit.
same hair I have right now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, I've always had that weird widow's
But
peak
it
in the middle.
it feels a little more flat topish in this picture.
Well, I think that's because my mom was cutting my hair.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause they didn't put a whole lot of thought into the shape of it or anything.
So
What about that guy next to you? Are you still in contact with that
That's
guy?
Wallace Harvey.
Yeah,
dude.
look
Yeah,
at
I
that
know
guy.
Wallace really well, actually.
so which
It's a tough picture of him.
Yeah,
which
yeah,
kid
it
did
is.
not start? There's 6 of you there.
I don't. Oh,
Who rolled the bitch?
I don't.
Not the
know.
girl.
I don't know. That's an interesting question. I don't remember a whole lot about this team.
I like that you got to keep the ball though.
Mm-hmm.
Got it between my feet.
Yeah,
right
you're a
there.
real star.
Were you guys good?
I don't know if
This
I
does
don't know
not
if-
look like a good basketball team. Your friend who's having the rough picture there,
I think the
he's
public
best
school
player.
would-
He looks
would
like
win
the best
this.
player on the team.
Yeah.
Well, what about this team? This is the team from the next year.
All right. Well, that's a lot different. You guys have grown.
Yeah, you look like you've aged a lot in 1 year here.
I remember all these kids, man.
And
What
how
happened
old
to
are
the
you?
girl? The girl got kicked off.
Yeah.
yeah. We're trying to win some games. You can get out of here.
How about that?
Yeah.
And your other buddy Walter or whatever, he's off the team too. Huh?
Wallace.
Wallace,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, he was a grade above me, so
Oh,
I think
okay.
he's in a different league now that I've
Oh, okay.
moved up a year. So these are fun to look at. I hadn't looked at these pictures in a long time. But no, we were not a basketball school.
Who's on the wall back there?
That's Mary.
Okay.
She's a mother of Jesus. And in the Catholic Church, they like her a lot.
Gotcha.
They do like her a lot.
Mm-hmm.
What? They love her.
They talk about her. Yeah.
They're like, I'm like, that's not even really a main character, and they really get into it.
Well, she's a supporting actress.
Yeah.
Like probably, Oscar nom.
I mean, she plays a big role.
That's what I'm saying.
But
Yeah. Or she's probably lead actress. If the Bible were a movie, she'd be nominated lead actress, I think.
I'm
not
watching
Ruth.
Ruth.
They wrote a whole book after Ruth.
They were trying to be nice.
They got to throw a woman in here.
We
How
got a
about
bunch
Ruth?
of old men names. Let's throw Ruth a bone.
Yeah.
I'm watching.
Who talks about Ruth?
I talk about her a lot.
Yeah.
Have you really?
Well, my
Tell
wife.
me one thing. Oh, that's your wife's name. Okay. Was
Yeah.
she named after the book of Ruth?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll stop talking about it.
No, I mean, to your point,
Mm-hmm.
so her brothers are John and Stephen. There's a million male biblical names.
There's not Stephen in the Bible.
Yeah,
I
he's
think
the
so.
first Christian martyr. Oh, okay. And then for girls, like Mary.
Yeah, a lot of Mary and Maria.
And okay, I guess we'll go with Ruth. If you
Yeah.
don't want to do that, Esther.
Mary Magdalene. That's still Mary.
So I'm watching. You guys know this
Yeah.
show, The Chosen?
I've heard of it.
I've heard of it. Yeah, I've heard you and Nate talk about it on the podcast.
I just started it, so I didn't know anything about it. He mentioned it on Rogan, I think.
Oh, that's where he talked
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I just started it, and I had a hard time getting into it because they create.
Because you know how it ends.
Well, they create backstories for these biblical characters
Nice.
that aren't in the
A
Bible.
little artistic license. I
Yeah,
like it.
so I had a hard time,
I won't watch it, but
because of that.
just because I don't like any of that stuff when they create, because
Stories
they
that aren't in the
create
Bible.
what Jesus looks like, and we're not supposed to do that. And
Would you watch a movie in the first person from Jesus' perspective? So you never see him.
Oh, maybe.
Like
That's
a body
interesting.
cam.
Like a body.
That's interesting.
Like if Jesus had body cam footage.
We're coming in.
Body cam footage of the crucifixion
Yeah.
would be tough.
So you didn't see the Passion of the Christ?
No.
Yeah, for the same reason.
Well, I didn't see that one because they talk about, the whole scene of what happens to Jesus. And I'm like, I don't want to see that.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I
It
can
seems
understand
too
that.
brutal to me. I
Yeah.
don't want to watch
But
it.
you'll read about it.
Yeah.
But God forbid somebody put it on film.
Well, they're allowed to do it. I just don't want to see
Oh,
it.
okay.
Like
that's right.
UFC, for instance, right? Like, I'm glad it exists. People love it, but I don't want to watch people get beat up like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I can't handle it.
Yeah. That's fair.
Like,
get
even fictional stuff, for the most part, it's okay. I like Quentin Tarantino the most because most of his movies, it seems so wild
Mhm.
And
that
it's so over the top.
that it seems fictional because it's like
Yeah.
Reservoir Dogs I can't handle. But the others are so over the top that it's like, that's just silly.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But like Saving Private Ryan, like war movies,
Yeah,
you
it's
don't
too
like.
too realistic, it's very painful. I hate it.
Uh-huh.
Well, anyway, The Chosen, I had some of the same issues because they're creating these stories of these people that, they take an artistic license. But
Yeah.
now we're getting into the parts that are in the Bible. And so
Okay.
I'm starting to get on board with it more.
All right.
Pretty good.
Well, I hear nothing but good things. People love it. People are always telling me to watch.
And I know all the stories in the Bible. I've read them so many times. It's nice now to even do a pretend thinking about what they look like or putting some personality to the characters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
Now, to your point, Jesus does some stuff like they humanize him so much. I'm like, I don't know. Would Jesus really hit his thumb hammering or
Probably
whatever?
not.
Oh, yeah, he would.
He probably would, but it's hard to
think so.
think of him that way.
I don't think Jesus misses. He hits his thumb if he wants to.
I don't know.
That's fair.
So there's some of that's
Mhm.
already gonna. I don't even know how we got off to that. Oh yeah, I asked you about the picture on the wall. and
Oh,
the-
yeah,
that
yeah.
spiral. But Mary
Yeah.
Magdalene is a big role in
Oh, okay.
in the show.
That's nice.
So anyway,
So what about going to school for the first time? Would you guys you had like a whole going to where would you go shop?
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
All right. Where would you go shop for your new clothes? Like, what'd you like to get?
Well,
At my older brother's dresser.
Okay.
That's where I got all my clothes from.
What kind of stuff would he have?
Well, we had school uniforms.
Oh, okay.
I always had school uniforms.
That makes it easy. I actually like that.
Well, now it's all in Alabama. It's all the public schools have uniforms.
really?
Most of them.
Wow.
Yeah, at least in Montgomery County.
I like a school uniform thing because
I'm surprised.
I like to get wild with it, but yeah, when you don't have a lot of money, like you end up feeling self-conscious about your clothes that you're wearing to school.
That's a big part of the reasoning.
Yeah.
Is that it just alienates kids from each other, and it causes all kinds of problems.
Yeah, it's like Tommy Hilfiger was the thing when I was growing up, right? And it's like I was never going to get Tommy Hilfiger, right? And it's like
so you're Timmy Hilfiger, with some off-brand. Yeah.
But I'd be wearing like duck head sometimes, Bugle Boy, or I really pleaded to not get clothes at Walmart. That was my thing. I was like, anything. We'll go to Sears, we go to Gaffer's, Kmart. We gotta stay away from those. But and so it was hard. So I ended up getting more creative with what I would wear, and so I think it, created some creativity, but
it would have been nice to just wake up and put the same thing on.
Absolutely.
Every day. And knowing that your friends are all going to be wearing the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it annoyed me. We'd have dress down days at school, Usually it was like a fundraiser, like you bring $2 in and you get to dress down.
So the kids that got no money still wearing the uniform.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We still found ways to alienate the kids.
Yeah.
But looking back, it's like I didn't mind the uniforms at all. They're probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't think in elementary school I was even thinking about like just whatever my mom bought is probably what I wore. But by high school, Lebanon, the options were pretty limited. And we had one clothing store that opened, Goodies.
I remember Goodies.
And to us, that was high fashion.
Yeah.
So you'd buy a nice shirt from there and then go to school the next week or the first day of school, and there'd be 3 different guys wearing the same shirt.
Oh, yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah, and you get some new clothes, and it's like, well, there's still 5 days in a week.
Yeah.
So you're trying to rotate them out. And
well, I told a story on here before you joined us, Dusty, that my first day of my senior year in high school, I wore a New Kids on the Block shirt to school because somehow I'd missed it. That's not cool. So
was it a fresh one?
I'd just been to their concert.
Oh no.
So this is as fresh as you can get.
It's almost like a faded one. You could get away with being like, this is my sister's. I'm wearing it ironically.
Aaron said that, I think, before.
I said, once you realize everybody's making fun of it, just go, isn't it hilarious that I'm wearing this?
Yeah.
That's all it would
That's how cool I am.
I should have done that, but I did not.
Yeah, I had a Toby Keith shirt I remember wearing. I think I wore it like one time. Nobody was making fun of Toby Keith, but it just felt weird.
What was the shirt? It was Big Dog or something. Dog.
Oh yeah, there was a Big Dog. There was some other stuff. But there was some like Big Dog. Like if you can't hang with a big dog, stay on the porch.
Yeah, it was stuff like that.
Yeah,
I remember those shirts. Those were big dress down days. People coming with the Big Dog shirts on.
That was after my time.
I remember. You want to know something weird? Okay. All right. Jeez.
Well, that's why it's like any of those shirts I could think to bring up are all inappropriate. Because you go to you go down to Panama City and go to one of those beach stores, and they had I had a lot of shirts like that. I would get in trouble all the time about shirts.
They're all like Spencer's type stuff.
Yeah, like not airbrush, but I can't even describe some of the things that I had. I shouldn't have been wearing them.
Something crass.
Yes, but nobody was monitoring what I was wearing. By the time I got to high school, I just was. I was getting myself dressed and heading out. Even in earlier school, my mom worked third shift. Most of the time, I'd catch the bus before she even got home. Mm-hmm. So nobody knew what I was wearing.
Did you guys ride the bus to school?
I never did, no.
Because your parents or your dad was driving you.
Yeah, my parents worked at the school, or I had older siblings.
Yeah,
that would drive me. But in Alabama, I don't even think we had the option to take a bus for a small private Catholic school. They don't have busing,
I rode the bus, usually about half and half. I'd ride the bus to school. My mom would pick me up or the other way around. She'd take me to school. I'd ride it home.
How do you coordinate stuff like that back then? No cell phone.
I guess you just, they would give you just the, my mom would just be like, I'm gonna pick you up, or I guess you might call the school and say, hey, let Dusty know I'll be picking him up today, or let Dusty know to ride the bus.
Okay. But it's a lot of tell this to this person.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of
I
give
don't
this
remember-
message to.
I think it was mostly just they tell you that morning, and that's the plan.
But do you remember there being a lot of like problems caused by this lack of communication, or were you even thinking about it at all?
I don't think there was ever problems maybe one or two. I got banned for the bus for a little while one time for throwing pencils, but that
didn't have anything to do with no cell phones.
No, that was only like a week too, and I got to come back.
That's nice.
They
Man,
knew I wasn't malicious.
I think school bus drivers have one of the most stressful jobs out there.
Mm-hmm.
Dealing with all those kids and driving this huge, gigantic vehicle.
Yeah, and the kids aren't even wearing seatbelts.
No, and they're just going crazy.
No seatbelts at all. I threw up on the school bus one time.
And there's that.
There were 3 to a seat, and I was middle and threw up, and it hit the seat in front of us.
Splattered.
And it went all over the other kids. I remember the kid digging throw up out of the crease of his bag with a pencil, being like, "You're gonna buy me a new bag," and I'm like, "Well, I'm about to get off at a trailer park here, so you just hold your breath there, buddy."
You shut that laptop up.
Yeah.
What'd you throw up from? Just like general being a kid?
Yeah, I mean, food was never good, and who knows? I mean, the food at the school was always crap. I mean, it was.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, did you take your lunch or did you do cafeteria?
I would do about not half and half. I'd take my lunch sometimes, but it,
That's probably about 10% of the time I'd buy lunch. I had a sack lunch most of the time.
Did you ever have a lunch box?
Never really a lunch box. It was just a brown paper bag.
I had a lunch box as a kid.
Do you remember what it was?
I think I had a G.I. Joe and a He-Man. Those are my favorite 2 cartoons.
I had Super Friends and Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
I would have beat y'all up in elementary school.
What are you talking about? Those are cool.
They were cool back then.
No.
I had a little G.I. Joe lunchbox with a little G.I. Joe thermos inside that sometimes you put soup in there.
It's not cool to like stuff, dude.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm just
Well,
kidding.
we were okay
I feel
liking things back then.
That might be a different generation. This
It's
changed.
not cool to care, dude.
Even
You know what
Well,
I mean?
as you got older, for sure it wasn't.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
For sure, though, when you got older, it was like you wear one strap of the backpack, and
Mhm.
you'd rather give yourself back problems than just wear it correctly.
Yeah, because it looks so cool to just carry it with one.
Yeah.
yeah, the movie 21 Jump Street.
They got to talk about that.
Very funny.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But that was true. I mean, Hannah would talk about, growing up in Canada, the cool thing was to not wear coats. Like if you were like cool, you would just be freezing to death.
I think that's
Yeah.
what it's going on now. Kids, or at least boys, will wear shorts to school when it's 10 degrees outside.
I used to do that. I get that. I would pride myself. Nah, I don't need a jacket, and I'm wearing shorts.
I think you had a school uniform.
Flip flops. I'm talking about just like in general. In
Oh,
life,
yeah. So
weekends.
What about using the bathroom at school? Like number 2. Would you do it? I never did it. I don't think I ever did it a single time my whole career of high school.
I don't think I did either.
I was so terrified.
Dude, in high school, you're looking for I'll go take a break.
I'd rather check out of school.
High school is like a job in an office. Yeah, I'm gonna go use the bathroom.
Are you playing a horse with no name?
I never would do it.
I never even thought
Elementary
about it.
school, I bet I was too scared to
Yeah.
do that. But high school, it's like I'm running the show now. I don't care.
Yeah.
Let them in. I'm taking care of business.
I was not for it. I like to be very discreet about my.
We had a poop bandit at my high school. Ever talk about that?
No.
We had a guy who was vandalizing the bathrooms with.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Hence the name, the poop bandit.
That's disgusting.
You want to fess up right now?
It was not me, and I don't know who it was, but it was a thing for a while.
That's disgusting.
I agree.
Now, did you guys do recess, or was that banned by the time you got in school?
I did recess in primary school, but it was done by elementary school. Primary was kindergarten, first, second. I don't think we had it after that.
I think middle school we had little breaks, but it wasn't called recess. It was like a 15-minute break or something. K through 6 we had legit play kickball.
Oh, we had
dodgeball, that
we
kind
had
of stuff.
PE, and I guess that's
PE,
probably
sure.
what recess was for
But,
us.
but yeah, but when you're younger, you have just like a general go out in the playground,
Yeah.
do whatever.
First, second, kindergarten, first, second, we had that. I don't remember it after that.
You don't think in third grade you had recess?
I don't think so.
Wow.
I think it was PE. That was
So
it.
you didn't have recess. You're learning how to sew. Did you go to school at a sweatshop?
Yeah.
That's what it
It
feels like.
sounds like it. Yeah.
It does sound like
Yeah.
it. We had portables. So in a way, I did live in a trailer for a while. You guys know what portables are?
No.
I had art in a portable.
Basically, if they didn't have enough classrooms, they would bring in.
Oh, it was like a trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We had some I took some classes in
Yeah.
portables. I'd never heard them called that.
What,
I
just
didn't-
call them trailers?
We just call it, yeah, just trailers.
I just called it art class. There's enough trailers around that we didn't even think it was weird.
We were complaining. Dusty's
Yeah.
like, this is nice.
Yeah, that's a good trailer,
Is
honestly.
this a double wide? Come
Yeah.
on.
Did you do a lot of after school like activities
Just sports.
all the way through?
Yeah. All the way through.
I did some sports, but for the most part, I was heading on to the house. I didn't do a lot of activities.
Did you do campus life or anything?
I did campus life. Yeah.
What is
Matter of fact, I
campus
did.
life?
You know what? The campus life people from Orlando came to see me not long ago, and I've been wanting to wear that shirt in here.
Oh,
Campus
really?
life was like a Christian kind of after school thing. And in high school, I was really into campus life. I loved it. I became a leader at campus life.
Really?
And then I started throwing a lot of parties, and I got demoted from leader.
Oh,
They didn't kick me out of campus life, but they were like, we really can't have you being a leader. You're going to throw a
Yeah.
lot of parties. I go, well,
this is in high school?
yeah.
Hmm.
I love
middle
campus
school.
life. yeah. Yeah.
Throwing ragers at the trailer. 7th grade.
Yeah, see, by high school, by 10th grade, we had moved out of the trailer. And so 10th grade, I lived in a house just a mile in front of the school. So, so I would walk to school a lot before I got a license. And it was great. It was so easy to
Mhm.
invite people. I might just go down this road,
Yeah.
last house on the right.
You'll
we're going
hear
to be
it.
partying.
You'll hear it. Follow
was
the
great.
music.
I'm the
Senior
campus life
year-
leader.
Senior year was hot for me. I really made some waves by senior year.
Senior
Really?
year of high school, you
Yeah.
kind of came into your own.
Yeah, it was hot. It was
Let
a
your
hot year.
hair down.
Yeah.
You know?
You're popular?
Yeah, it was a hot year for me. I don't like to use the word popular, but
Uh-huh.
I was cool. You know what I mean?
You're cool.
Popular seems more douchey. I was cool.
Yeah.
People liked me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were a well liked guy.
Yeah.
That's fair to say.
Yeah.
What about you, Brian?
Well liked?
Yeah.
I mean, I think I was liked.
Yeah.
I wasn't popular.
But were there guys when you think of high school, were there like that's the popular group or whatever?
There was, and I can't say that I was in that group. Maybe I was in the minor leagues of that group. I knew some people in that
All
group.
that in the
Yeah.
farm, you know?
I do feel like my senior year was by far the most fun year because, I mean, I guess that's true for most people, but there's something about when you're the oldest ones,
Yeah.
you just have a different
You know, I've
attitude.
been waiting 4 years to run this
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
9th grade was really my worst year, I think, just in the way that and I don't think it had necessarily anything to do with changing schools to high school, but it was just like, that's the year I felt the most insecure, in my life. So it was a real turnaround for my senior year.
Well, that's probably true for freshman years.
Maybe
Probably
so. I
toughest
mean, I
for a lot
wasn't
of
getting
people.
picked on or anything. I just was
Well,
like,
you're going through some changes
Yeah.
personally at that
Yeah,
time
yes,
in life.
yes.
You know, there's a lot going on.
there is a lot going on.
I get that.
Yeah.
I don't know if 9th grade. I didn't peak in 9th grade either. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, the size difference of some of the kids. There's
It's men and kids,
there's freshmen in high school that haven't hit puberty yet.
and you're in the same locker room with grown men now.
Yeah, I remember there was a guy, I don't know if he was in 11th grade or 12th grade when I was in 9th grade, named Rex Story. And I remember seeing that guy and I was like, this is a grown man.
Yeah. He had
He's
facial hair.
going to the school. He had a 5 o'clock shadow all the time. I was
Yeah,
like, this guy's
yeah.
in school with me.
Shaving between classes. You're
Yeah,
like, what is
yeah.
this? Who is this guy?
Yeah.
I don't have a good segue here, but Dusty, why don't you tell us a bit about ZocDoc?
Oh, ZocDoc.
If you throw up on the bus, you may need a doctor.
That's true. That's true. All right.
Call
Thanks.
back and a segue.
Yeah.
Thanks to ZocDoc, we can now find and book in-person or telemedicine appointments for medical or dental care. That is helpful for people that are on the go or work different hours like we do. Have you ever been on the hunt for a new doctor and you ask literally everyone you know for their recommendation?
Hmm.
No.
Well, I have.
Just being honest here. Doesn't mean I won't like ZocDoc.
And finally, you find the one. So you call their office and they have an appointment available. Amazing. But then, the receptionist tells you this perfect doctor doesn't take your insurance.
Oh, yeah.
Wipe your tears and head over to ZocDoc to find and book the doctor who is right for you and takes your insurance. ZocDoc is free. Is a free app where you can find and book appointments online. We're talking about booking appointments with thousands of top-rated, patient-reviewed doctors and specialists. You can filter specifically for ones who take your insurance, are located near you, and treat almost any condition you're searching for. These docs all have verified reviews from actual, real patients, not bots. The average wait time to see a doctor booked on ZocDoc is between just 24 and 48 hours.
Yeah, that's quick.
That is quick. Once you find the doc you want, you can book them immediately with just a few app taps. Go to ZocDoc.com/Nate and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. Many are available within 24 hours. That's ZocDoc.com/Nate. ZocDoc.com/Nate.
That's a tough one.
That is tough.
Yeah.
So I looked up, number 2 pencils were very big back in my day.
I got banned on the bus for throwing them.
And then you got stabbed by one.
I think that it might have been that. It might have been a lead pencil.
That's what a number 2 pencil is, right?
Well, I mean like a
mechanical pencil.
Yeah.
Did you have mechanical pencils growing up?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't use them much, but they did exist. We had the pens that 4 different colors, and
Oh yeah.
Oh, those were
those?
neat.
Those
Yeah,
are fun.
purple, green.
Yeah.
Do you have the erasable pens? Those were so weak.
Yeah, they were weak.
I used to hate those erasable pens, dude.
Yeah.
They didn't write well and they didn't erase well. What do we
It's
do?
like I got an
Use a pencil.
erasable pen. You mean a pencil?
Yeah.
what about a Trapper Keeper?
You know what? I have a Trapper Keeper at home from middle school that I almost brought, but I thought, you know what? I bet people know what it looks like.
I wish you had.
What is it? I don't even know what you're talking
A
about.
trapper. You don't know what a Trapper Keeper
A
is?
trapper keeper.
Yeah.
Is it like a
You don't know either, Lord?
I have a Trapper
Wow.
Keeper in perfect condition.
I wish you'd have brought it.
I should have brought it.
I still don't know what it is.
Well, it's a folder. It's like a 3-ring binder, but
Well,
it folds.
that's a mechanical pencil.
It
Yeah, hold
folds,
on.
and then it has another piece that comes over and Velcros on, and then it has other little pockets in it. Had a lot of cool designs on it. None of those are.
Doesn't open up like an accordion? Like
No,
one of
no.
those?
No, it's
No.
just a 3-ring binder, really, with another piece that comes over.
That one right there on the right with the football, that's a Trapper Keeper.
This one right here?
No, the
Oh,
one
this one.
far right. Yeah.
Yeah, trapper keeper.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's
Just
it.
keeps all your stuff in there.
I should have brought it. It's in such good condition.
What's inside of it?
A 3-ring binder with other pockets.
No, but what's inside yours? You just have
Oh,
one?
I had comic cards from when I was a kid.
Oh, okay.
Comment cards?
That's what I thought you said too.
Like
Comment cards?
like Marvel comics.
I thought you meant
comic.
like a comedy club comment card.
Yeah.
Still keep it on.
I actually
Hated
have,
the feature.
I have a lot of comic cards from when I worked at the restaurant that I love to keep. They were just not always about me, just funny ones. I love those.
You'd comment cards for at Hyman's?
Yeah.
Any mean about you?
Not really mean about me that I was able to get. Now there could have been some that I didn't acquire, but yeah, I mean there would be some mean about the restaurant or funny or nice about me.
That's fine.
That I liked. But yeah, I mean a guy was like giving me a real attitude one time when I was working there, and I see him pull the comment card out of the thing. So I take a pen out, click it, hand it to him.
Oh, dude.
I was like,
That's a power move.
Get it,
Yeah.
dude. I was like, get it, fill it out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
comment card.
Yeah.
Did we had on our pencils little, I don't know what you call them, little rubber things you'd put on the pencil to kind of grip
those
it.
Grips,
Yeah.
dude.
You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, those are really fun. They're supposed to keep your hand from cramping up. But if you're left-handed
Oh, there they
like
are, right
me,
there, yeah.
there's no.
I'd never used these triangular ones. These look
Well, that's what I was talking
weak,
about.
dude.
That's probably the original.
I'm talking about they were just flush with the pencil.
By the time you had,
Cylindrical.
by the time you'd come along, they perfected it. But we had let's keep it from rolling off the desk.
Oh, that's what it was for.
I think it would play that role.
Was that an eraser too? Could you use that as an eraser?
I think there were some. You remember the little eraser that went over the top?
Mhm.
Oh, big
Mhm.
time.
Yeah, those were good. Those were fun.
Those were a good time.
Yeah. What about the mechanical pencil that you would twist and the lead would come out real far?
Never saw that.
You never saw that?
I was always
It's a yellow
click.
one, and it would twist at the end, and then the lead would come out real far.
I think it was made by.
I think it was made by Mead.
Aaron, did you use pencils in school?
Mechanical. Yeah. We ran the gamut.
I read where I was
None of those
doing this research.
maybe that pencil mate.
There it is.
Yeah.
Those. I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
The SAT is going all digital starting next year.
Oh,
So
wow.
so no more number 2 pencils needed.
That's a huge blow for the number 2 pencil industry because that's kind of the last time you needed to use one.
They should have been prepping for this.
Yeah.
They should have been getting themselves prepared.
How do they do it digitally now? Do you go in like a voting booth? You go in and take it?
That's a good question. I don't know. I read that it's supposed to be more fair.
It did seem like an ad read. He goes, "That's a good question."
Well,
and,
I gotta look at papers here.
Yeah.
It will provide devices to students who do not own their own computers. Some people don't.
Oh, okay. So you're just
Who attend schools without access to
you're
technology.
doing it on like a Chromebook in a classroom.
I guess it'll now be shorter, moving from 3 hours to just 2 hours, and give more students more time per question.
You should be able to take the SAT and then just get your score back that night.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was that reaction?
I know it sounded like I was thinking that's a hot take,
Yo,
but
wow.
Did you ever like cheat off people's papers or have other people cheat off your papers? Like copying, like in class when you'd be copying off them? I was in Spanish in 11th grade. I didn't want to take it. You had to take one foreign language.
Mm-hmm.
And my teacher was pregnant. And so halfway through the year, she left and we got a substitute. And this substitute, there was these 2 girls, Haley and Katie, and they would let me copy off, and they were very good at Spanish. They would let me copy their paper every day. The teacher knew it was happening. They would just straight up let me copy.
Wow.
Nobody cared. Finals time came. The substitute wouldn't let me sit next to them. So and the entire final was in Spanish. I didn't know a single
no
word.
bueno.
Yeah.
I was the first one done. I just went, it was no point in even reading.
You couldn't read the instructions.
Yeah, I just went all the way through it. I failed that test so bad. I had like 100 in the class.
Yeah.
But I failed the final so bad, I almost failed the class.
That's why the teacher let you do it the whole
I know.
time. They're like, you're shooting
But
yourself
that's
in
really,
the foot.
but you know what I mean? That was really, I don't appreciate her method because it's like, come on. And it's not been a problem for me to not know it, not know Spanish.
But it would have been nice to know it, right?
Yeah, but I bet Haley and Katie don't even know it.
No.
You know what I mean? Not from that class.
If you were doing stand-up in Spanish right now, I think your career would be a lot different.
Well, yeah, for sure.
You would definitely sold out in Austin.
For sure, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, you're right. It could have played a role.
You do one night in English, do the next night in Spanish.
But who knows? You know, what if I'd learned Spanish and end up, going into a different field? I may be more successful in another area. You know what I mean? Who knows what road I would have went down? Maybe learning would have become something important to me, and I would have said, you know what? Actually, learning a language has opened different parts of my mind.
This earth is spinning so fast.
I could be a scientist or something, talking about planets.
Yeah.
You would have gone to DC for vacation.
Yeah. I'm glad that Dusty doesn't exist.
You'd be an astronomer.
Yeah.
That's the end of it.
Dustin
bilingual.
Slay.
Maybe I would have got so into languages, I would have been like, let's learn another one.
Yeah.
And then another one. But you know what? My substitute teacher, she didn't know anything about Spanish.
Right.
You know what I mean? Don't be like, you got to learn, but you can't teach it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why she needs
Put up or shut
Babel.
up. That's what
No, sorry.
I was hoping that would be a sponsor. That would be great. For
that would have been perfect.
This episode.
Do you guys ever have the dream that you can't remember your locker combination and have to get into it? It's a very common dream, apparently.
Never had it.
I had a dream. I haven't had it in a couple years now, but I used to have a recurring dream that I was in college and it was the day of final exams. And I found out I was in a class that I had never been to, or I was signed up for a class I didn't know about. And I had that dream. And then I'd wake up and be like, oh, dude, I graduated 4 years ago.
Yeah,
like,
it's such a relief.
I don't know what that is in my brain, but I think that's a common one.
It is.
Too.
I've had that too.
God, isn't that bizarre?
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know.
I'd never have school dreams, but I will tell you something that happened. My mom brought up some middle school yearbooks to me,
Mhm.
and I had seen the high school yearbooks over the years. I had looked at those. The middle school yearbook, it felt like it opened parts of my brain, memories that had been shut down as I'm turning these pages and seeing this, and it shook me up for a couple of weeks. This is about a year ago, and I just was like, it was just bringing back, like, not necessarily bad memories,
Mhm.
but just things I had completely forgotten
These weren't
about.
memories you've repressed. These are just stuff you forgot about
Yeah, but it
throughout
just
life.
was like, because I remember high school well, but I don't really think about middle school that often.
Right.
But it was just bringing that up, and I was like, this is weird. And I think I might have had a couple of dreams around that time. It shook me in a weird way.
I can see that. Just brings you back to memory lane. I went back to my elementary school a few years ago for some event and went into some of the same rooms, like the cafeteria.
Mhm.
It seemed so big to me as a kid, and now it just seems so tiny. I couldn't believe it was the same room.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything seems so much smaller, right?
Yeah.
There's a crazy scene in The Office where they go back to Pam's high school
Mm-hmm.
when they're doing that career event.
Mm-hmm.
And have you seen The Office?
I've seen a lot of it. I've not seen this episode.
She goes back to the art room thinking that a picture she drew when she was in high school would still be hanging up. Do you remember that part
Yeah,
of it? She's
yeah.
like, I thought it might be hanging up. You're 35 at this point.
I don't think she's supposed to be that old, but to your
Well,
point.
you think your terrible drawing is going to be hanging up here
Yeah.
17 years later?
Yeah.
Well,
that part always annoyed me.
Well, that's what people always think, though, in a way. People always think, like, when they leave a job or they leave a school, that, oh, they're going to remember me. And it's like, when you work at a restaurant and you think, the moment you leave, people are just like, can I get your shift?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. We had kids. You have this. I don't know if this is common or if this is just a my school thing, but we had kids who graduated the year before. They would show up the next year and just come to class, like the first, second day of school. Like, isn't that funny? We're here, but we graduated.
Wow.
In uniform.
That's weird.
It is weird. I remember thinking, God, these kids are nerds, dude. You're done with high school.
Yeah.
Get out of here. It's not funny that you're here.
Well, if you peak in high school, I think it is hard to let it go.
But most of those
never
kids
even gave it a chance.
I'm assuming most of the kids at your school went to college afterwards.
Yeah.
So shouldn't they have been at college somewhere?
Well, I guess maybe it started early.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
my
weird.
high school gave us the option. I remember my senior year, they gave us the option. We voted as a senior class. Do you want to extend the school day by 15 minutes every day? Or we start the school year a week early. So we started July 31st that year in July.
Rather than just having extra 15 minutes each day.
Yeah, we voted on that. I voted to start early too. I thought it's going to be tough for a week, but then every day, the whole school year, I'd be thinking, gosh, I'd be out of here by now. This last 15 minutes is brutal.
I think I would have done that too.
Yeah, it's like, let's just get it over.
Probably at the time, but I think I would go the extra 15.
Every day, though, dude?
Give me that week off.
Yeah. If it was on the back end, it would be more appealing.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you end a little bit earlier.
Yeah, if say week.
What about now though? Let's say you're doing stand up and they're like, all right, they're gonna go. You come in on Thursday, do a show on Thursday, or the 2 shows on Friday, 2 shows on Saturday. You do an extra 15 each show. What would you do?
I think that the show would suffer if I had to do that. I had to do
The audience votes. They're like, you know what? Do a Thursday.
Yeah. How about doing Wednesday as well?
Yeah.
Do them all. That's a good question. I don't know. In college, our classes Monday, Wednesday, Friday were 50 minutes, and Tuesday and Thursday were an hour 15.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked the Monday, Wednesday, Friday classes better, even though I went 3 times a week, just because hour 15 felt so long.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get out of there.
See, block scheduling came in while I was in school. So we were doing 6 classes a day, sometimes 7 for about an hour. And then after 9th grade, in 10th grade, we went to block scheduling where we did 4 classes a day, all about an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
An hour and a half class is tough, man.
Yeah. And then you got to leave and go right to another one and start it.
But it was great in the sense that, like, you'd have your two main classes, your two, and then you do that half the year, and then the second half of the year you'd switch to 4 other classes.
Now let me ask you a more extreme version of this. So my high school in Alabama, Catholic high school, in the early 90s, I think the senior class voted to move to a 4-day school week. So they went like 8 to 5 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then they had Fridays off, and they did that for 1 year, and then they all voted like, let's go back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's a long day. That is a long day.
It's a really long day to be in school. And it's long for the teachers. It's long for everybody.
And if you play sports, then what do you do? Stay till 7?
Yeah. Well, yeah. We'd probably stay that late anyway, but you'd stay way later than you would.
Yeah.
You know, if you can't start practice till 5:45 every day, that's tough on everybody.
Was it cool having your dad as the principal, or was it not fun?
It was convenient sometimes. I'd know things before other people, that kind of stuff.
Do you think that's why you weren't class clown? Like, what? Because you're like, there's immediate consequences if I'm getting in trouble here.
I think actually, if I'm being honest, it gave me a little more leeway with people, because the dynamic between me and the teachers was different.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
because your dad's their boss.
Yeah, essentially. So that probably played into it. I don't know. It was just never that. There were always guys that were funnier than me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that were like doing physical stuff and getting big laughs. You know, and I was never that guy. But I like snow days were big.
Yeah.
And so my school here in Hendersonville, Tennessee, we had maybe 2 snow days when I was there, and it was a big deal to get a snow day. Sumner County public schools, if there's a cold breeze, they go, we're out for a week.
Almost every public school in Tennessee.
They're like, oh, we can't do it.
We were out all the time.
And my dad would wake up at like 4 a.m. He would drive to the school to see the roads. He'd drive like back roads and be like, the roads are fine out here. And we'd be the only school in the county open all the time, dude. So
did parents like that, or did they get mad?
I don't know if the parents liked it. The kids weren't pumped about it.
I'm sure.
You know, so I would be
if the parents still have to go to work, they like it.
That's probably true.
But if the parents like, you know, my particular road is dangerous, whatever, you know.
And your dad's like, well, I'll drive there and see.
Yeah.
Would it
really?
be?
I drove by your house last night. Everything's fine.
Would that be an excuse absence if they said, hey, it's not safe?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. But you know,
I love that your dad would make the drive.
Oh, dude. My dad, when the Nashville flood happened, the big one.
Come on in.
Yeah. No,
it's not over our neck.
The JP2 in Hendersonville was like a moat around it.
Yeah.
It was so flooded and you could not get to it. We had to take our AP test that weekend. And they're like, well, we're going to have to reschedule because the AP tests, the physical tests are in the building. And my dad got in a robe. My dad got in a boat and went to the school to get the tests and then took them back in a boat. And we took the test like off campus somewhere.
Wow, your dad was serious.
He said, I'm not going to let us get behind on stuff just because of the weather, you know.
They're going to say he helicoptered in.
I like that. I like the boat, though. I like the idea your dad's like rescuing the test. The tests are trapped.
There's all kinds of animals in there getting drowned. You just got to grab these tests real quick.
They're like, oh, Mr. Weber, you're here. He's like, I'm just here for the test. I don't have enough room for you in the boat.
Uh-huh.
Well, I don't have a good segue for this either, but tell us about Rocket Money.
Well, you know what's stressing me out? Probably what's stressing you out. Rising prices. Everything's more expensive these days. And you're looking for ways to cut costs. You're not crazy. You just need Rocket Money. You could be wasting money and not even realizing it. Look, this is half my income or half my expenditures are subscriptions that I've forgotten about, you know?
Yeah.
But not anymore because I use Rocket Money. It's a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Over 80% of people have subscriptions they've forgotten about. Chances are you do too.
Guaranteed.
The two of you.
Guaranteed.
Something you've never even used once. A free trial you forgot to cancel.
I think I have a antivirus for my computer.
Norton
that I don't even know how to fine to cancel it.
I think I have a timeshare in Crossville.
Yeah. Well, if you use Rocket Money, they will hop in and easily cancel your subscriptions for you. Then anything you don't want to pay for anymore, just hit cancel. They do all the legwork for you. They also help you manage your finances in one place and automatically categorize your expenses. They give you alerts when things look off. It's great. Over 3 million people have used it. Don't be one of the others. Stop throwing your money away. Cancel unwanted subscriptions and manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/Nate. That's rocketmoney.com/Nate. Say it with me. rocketmoney.com/Nate. None of y'all said that with me.
And don't be one of the others.
Well, I wanted to go, don't be one of the 297 million people that aren't on it, but that made it sound bad.
Yeah.
So I said one of the others.
Don't be one of the
Because I do like Rocket Money.
I do like it
good
too.
product.
Were chalkboards still a thing when you were in school?
We were fading them out. We started chalkboard when I was in school. And see, I feel like I'm the in-between.
You are for us.
You are, yeah.
And then it went all dry erase. By the time I was in high school, it was all dry erase.
Like a whiteboard.
Yeah.
And did you?
In Alabama, we were all whiteboards. When I came to Tennessee, every classroom had a smart board.
Wow.
That's not what I thought you were going to say. I think it was like, y'all still had chalkboards here.
No.
Smartboard. So is that like you operate from an iPad, or it was like a TV that you could touch?
It was.
You gasp.
It was still a projected image, but you could touch and control things by touching the screen.
Wow.
What about the thing, the little it's like a little
I know what you're
box that had like a glass top with a light in it, and then that had a mirror, and then it would project it, and they would have little plastic.
And even like you could roll the plastic sometimes.
I never.
It was in that thing you had earlier. I forgot what it's called.
It was called a projector, maybe.
If you scroll down, it's on there.
And it had, they could write on it with the little dry erase markers, and it would
I thought it's just what that
overhead projector. These right here.
Projector, yeah.
We use these.
Oh yeah, that was big time.
Plenty of these.
The overhead projector was big time.
Yeah,
you could write right on. If you had a erasable marker, you could write right on the glass.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, it was big time.
I would never do that.
I loved an overhead projector.
Yeah. But once you get a smart board, you're like, oh, these
smart board seems wild.
These overheads are weak.
Yeah.
Dude.
Well, obviously they didn't have cell phones when I was in school. They weren't invented, but I bet it was pretty crazy. Maybe when you were in high school.
Not for me either. Yeah. I mean, they might. Cell phone was probably invented, but it was not prevalent. No smartphones.
Yeah.
I didn't get a cell phone until my sophomore year of high school. I didn't have a smartphone until my sophomore year of college.
Okay.
So I had like a dumb cell phone.
Yeah.
Through high school.
Yeah.
Still a bit of an issue with people texting. I didn't have texting in high school. Maybe I did towards the end, but it was not that big of an issue. It's probably insane right now.
Oh yeah.
You're doing everything on your phone. I think they got to a point where they're like, they can't even tell you to put your phones away. They're like, we just got to figure out how to teach you.
They should do what
the phone.
Zanies does and have the
Yonder bags.
Yonder bags. Schools are actually Yonder's some of their biggest clients.
Oh yeah. That's what they should have.
You lock your phone up in a little pouch at the beginning of the day, and then at the end of the day, they open it for you.
Yeah.
That's the way they should do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to say I invited Harper Bargatze to come on to tell us about what school's like today. She declined the offer. She had
tough to get a Bargatze on here.
It is. I asked Laura. Laura said no as well. So I got to talk to you guys.
They moved out of here.
They're not even here. We don't even know what's going on. We just show up. But I mean,
do you have a pencil sharpener like that?
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I love the pencil sharpener. This was an excuse to get out of your chair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
If you sat on the other side of the room, can I go sharpen my pencil? You'd walk around, see what's going on.
And there's nothing like a freshly sharpened pencil.
Oh, that's great.
Dude, especially from one of those bad boys.
Yeah.
Dude, the electric ones never worked the same.
It wasn't as good.
It wasn't as satisfying, you know?
Yeah.
Just to really feel it. I have one of these in my house.
Oh, yeah?
Just randomly, just on a wall. I haven't used it.
You have it now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right now.
Wow.
Okay. My grandmother had one growing up. So maybe that's just a thing. How old's your house? Like old?
Yeah,
50s?
50s and 60s,
Yeah.
I think. Maybe, they just came with pencil sharpeners back then.
I
People
don't
were
know.
writing stuff down.
You were using number 2 pencils all the
Yeah.
time.
Got to sharpen them.
Yeah. you
Wow,
gotta
what
keep
an
'em sharp.
industry number 2 pencils used to be.
What a fall from grace.
Yeah.
They ran the country back in
Yeah.
the day.
Yeah, what happened to number 1?
What about pencil break? Did you ever play that? Number 2 pencils where you breaking each other's pencils?
No.
Oh, we used to play that a lot where you hold it
That's
pencil.
why you got stabbed with
and
one?
then other no, I got stabbed for
We don't have to get into
He
it.
deserved it.
Yeah. It
Well,
wasn't a game.
It wasn't a game. Well, yeah, not getting stabbed. That was never a game. But
Okay.
pencil break was you could, you snap it, and then also thump. Did you play that? Where you'd hold your knuckles out like that and you'd thump each other's knuckles?
You ever do that?
I don't know what
Isn't
you're
that
doing.
You don't see that? Dude?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like a little tracer.
It's like flimsy,
Oh, like
It's
what?
an optical illusion. It
Yeah.
looks like it's
bending, and
flexible.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
See that?
Oh yeah.
it's pretty crazy.
Well, that's a solid.
Wow, that
It's
is
physics.
crazy.
Yeah.
What
dude.
about pencils in the nose? Would you do that? I like to put pencils in the nose, and then I could hold a pencil with my chin. I can't. This is not a pencil. I can't do this. But it's also been a long time since I've done it. But
Yeah.
and then you do this mustache. Before I had a real mustache.
For the record, Nate's back next week, folks.
This is the good stuff. This is what I've been waiting
good
for.
Stuff. This is what I'm talking about.
This
though.
is what school's really
this
all
is
about.
what we were doing in school.
What
This
about
is-
football, like with the little paper? Where
Oh
you,
yeah,
Paper football
paper
was
football,
huge.
big
Yeah.
paper airplanes.
I remember. Do you have nap time in kindergarten?
Oh yeah,
We played paper football during nap time. We'd have a towel. You brought a towel to use as like your blanket,
yeah,
like a bath towel.
yeah. I remember that.
And we played paper football.
Oh,
what did you sleep on,
I
though?
would sleep on the floor.
I never slept during nap time, but I think you're supposed to just sleep on the towel.
We had a little mat that we would bring.
I guess you could bring a
Oh,
mat. I think I did
that's
have
fancy,
a mat. I did
dude.
have a little mat
We
actually.
had bath towels.
This is
man.
the late 70s.
Yeah, I know.
Not in kindergarten. I didn't go to kindergarten, but for like first grade.
This is like, yeah. I mean, to me, this is the stuff on the bus. It was pencil break. It was thump. You didn't do that though. You hold your knuckles out like that. And you try to thump it real hard.
Oh, we would do that.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
but pencils weren't involved.
No pencil. It was two. There's two different games.
Okay.
Thump and pencil break.
Yeah. We would
Alright.
play this game.
Oh yeah.
Remember that game where if you look at it below the waist, you punch them on the. I used to come home from middle school, just huge bruises all over my arm. My mom's like, "What are you doing all day?" I'm like, "Well,
Yeah.
I'm respecting the game."
You have a joke about senior prank. And when I was in Fairhope this past weekend,
Yeah.
somebody had poured like laundry detergent in the water fountain and it was bubbling out everywhere.
Oh, that's. Phew.
Yeah.
That probably cost a lot to fix. That probably caused some real problems.
My buddy said that on his next door app, people were not happy.
Yeah, dude.
I hate that.
Laundry detergent in the water system of the high school.
No, it wasn't. This was just like the city fountain, like there in Fairhope.
Oh, like a decorative fountain.
Yeah. Oh, no,
Okay.
yeah. Not like, I'm sorry, not
I
the
thought you meant like
water
the
fountain.
water system of the high school, where like the water fountain.
Like everybody's eating Tide Pods.
No, no, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
That's what I thought.
I'm sorry, like a decorative.
I thought
Oh,
that-
okay. I
didn't
kind
think
of
that.
like that a little more.
I thought y'all were taking it hard.
I don't like it, but I don't like vandalism. But I was also in an Airbnb this weekend, and it was clear they had
Last
used-
week you talked about vandalism stores the whole time.
well, I'm vandalizing a competition. That's
different.
That's an evil corporation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not the city's water supply.
Well,
I
yeah.
don't think the decorative fountain's tied into the
That's where they
drinking
get it.
water.
That's where they get it.
So it's all the wishing well pennies are down there too.
Yeah, that's where they get it. You got copper's good for you.
Y'all's water tastes weird.
Yeah.
dude.
But I was in Airbnb, and they clearly had used too much fabric softener, and I woke up in the night, and all I could smell was I couldn't even sleep. I felt like I was just breathing in poison.
Dude, I had a guy on the plane this morning smelled so bad. Worst I've ever smelled a person. It was that seat in Southwest where there's no chair in front of me.
Yeah.
And then, so the row right in front, that guy smelled. So he sat down. Joe Kelly was with me. He texted me. He goes, "This dude stinks." And then I caught a whiff of him. I was like, "Oh my God, dude, it was that bad." And he kept sticking his arm out to touch the like the window thing up and down. And every time he did that, I was sleeping, and it kept waking me up. Like,
Oh, he was reaching over you?
No, just reaching to the side.
Just making movement.
There's no chair in front of me, so I'm catching all the backdraft from this dude. And he had like greased up, oiled hair. He spent some time on his hair, but he hadn't taken a shower in probably a week, dude.
Wow.
I mean, it was my whole flight was this guy stunk.
That's awful.
Yeah.
I was at the airport. I forgot all about this until you talk about this. But this guy, I was sitting looking at the airline that was taking off.
Yeah.
And this guy was facing me. He had big headphones on. He was so hungover. He was making like these groaning, moaning noises, very loud in the airport, like he was just in horrific pain. Just, oh, he kept doing it. I don't know if he could even hear how loud he was being.
Because he had the headphones on.
Yeah. And his flight boarded and shut the door while he's just and then he finally gets up and looks around and sees what's happening. He starts losing his mind at the counter. He's like, I'm right here. I've been right here the whole time. It's like, dude, you got to take those headphones off.
I
man.
know. Yeah. You got to exist in the world for a bit.
Yeah. He missed his flight sitting right there, obviously in a lot of hungover pain. And I'm like, oh, dude, you messed up. And it was so satisfying to me for some reason.
You were glad it happened.
Yeah.
Oh, good stuff.
Well, we're at 2 hours, so it's probably a good time to stop.
Well, this is great. I appreciate this. I hope this was fun because you guys were making fun of me when I started talking about pencils and stuff. But to me, that's
when I was the most engaged.
Yeah.
And Brian shot it down real quick.
But this weekend, I'm going to be in Kansas City at the Kansas City Improv. I go there every year. I'm pumped to come back. I love Kansas City, so please come see the shows.
You gonna get some barbecue back on meat?
Yeah. Oh, I had a lot of barbecue this weekend, but I probably will again.
Some burn ends.
Actually, you know what? Last time I was in Kansas City, I ate at an Indian restaurant, and that was so good.
Oh, get it?
A little hole-in-the-wall Indian restaurant was the best.
Big time.
I'll probably go there.
Let's see, August 27th, I'm in Irwin, Pennsylvania. That's right outside Pittsburgh. I'm at Community Church. It's open to the public, so anybody can come.
Nice.
September 2nd, Skyline Comedy Club in Appleton, Wisconsin. 2 shows. And September 9th, North Charleston, South Carolina.
All right.
Comedy at the Sparrow.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been to the Sparrow a few times.
I've never been.
Who runs that show?
I think his last name's Bates, actually. I think his name's...
Oh, Josh Bates.
Yeah, Josh Bates.
There
All right.
you go.
Yeah. So...
Bates Unite.
Yeah.
I'm there in December, so let me know how that is.
All right.
I've heard nothing but good things.
All right.
I am in a city I always loved and never said anything bad about. I'm in Louisville, Kentucky this
All
weekend.
right.
The Oakland
Good
A's.
old
And,
Cities.
I don't even remember what you're talking about, Brian. I'm in lovely Louisville at Laugh Louisville Comedy Club, which is a new club.
We've always said that's one of our favorite cities.
We talk about it ad nauseum.
Mhm.
Yes.
I'll be at Laugh Louisville all weekend. Next weekend, I'm in Cleveland at Hilarities.
All right. I
Which
love hilarities.
I'm knocking off all these clubs that I've heard nothing about since I started. They're the best club. Like, it's very exciting.
Hilarities is one of my favorites.
So come on out. Louisville, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Boston, Cape Cod.
Oh, I'm supposed to wrap this up, right?
Yeah. That would have been a great time to put a button on it, Brian. It's not as easy as it looks, is
You're
it?
right. You're right. I made
Yeah.
fun of you earlier.
Yeah.
Now 2 hours
We
later.
love you all. This is not lost on us. Let's
We're
hear it.
having a
Yeah.
good time.
Again, I love you all. None of this is lost on me. None of it. Because come on shows, you're just the nicest fans, and thank you so much. Nate is back next week. So last time we did 2 shows, 2 podcasts. The first one, man, like, this is great. And by week 2, they're like, no, when's Nate back?
Yeah.
So Nate's back next week. Don't worry. And he'll have a lot of stories to tell, I'm
Bit
sure.
of an Australian accent.
Yeah.
When he comes back.
Yeah, he might. So thanks, everybody, for listening, and we're having a good time.
All right.
Nateland is produced by Nateland Productions and by me, Nate Bargatze, and my wife Laura on the Audio Boom platform. Recording and editing for the show is done by Genovations Media. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to catch us next week on the Nateland Podcast.